CHAMPS Game Time Live is delivered by Hungry Howie's Pizza, celebrating 50 years of flavor. State Champs Game Time Live is also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic. The future of education begins at ltu.edu. Alta Equipment, Michigan's #1 construction equipment provider, proudly representing the industry's top brands. Get the right equipment for your project every time with Alta Equipment. The Construction Association of Michigan, the voice of the construction industry in Michigan. U.S. Navy, transform your life and become part of something bigger. Learn more about naval careers at Navy.com. And the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Welcome to Wald Lake Western High School, welcome to the regional final, and welcome to one of those playoff rematches that just scream chilly nights in the middle of November. Awesome game coming up in Division III tonight. It's Wald Lake Western at 10-1, hosting one of the best high school football teams in Michigan, the undefeated 11-0 Bulldogs from Mason High School. Welcome onto the field, and what we sure hope is an awesome night of football. Evan Stockton with you, Grant Perry alongside, and we hear from Liz Kuhn in just a second. Grant, we were just talking about it. Only loss this year for Wald Lake Western is to the Mason Bulldogs. It came in the middle of October, but an awesome chance tonight for Wald Lake Western to get a little payback. They've got a great shot because their offensive backfield has one of the best backfield combos in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, they're electric, and it's going to be starting with Gavin Noonan, senior running back here, and he's just under 1,700 yards rushing on this season, 27 touchdowns, averaging 150 yards a game. I mean, just putting up video game numbers week in and week out. And then you look at his partner in crime, the speedy sophomore, Donovan Triplett, and the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, the future's very bright because the numbers he's putting up as a sophomore are fantastic. I mean, 14 yards a carry, 110 yards a game, just under 1,300 yards rushing, accompanied with 14 touchdowns. I mean, this duo is going to be one of the best in the state, and they're going to have to do it again here tonight.
Little thunder and lightning in that Wald Lake Western backfield. Excited to watch it tonight. And also excited to watch this dude play football. If you have not heard of A.J. Martell for Mason yet, get ready to learn about him. This may be the best football player as a senior in Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing at a very high level, producing on all aspects. A two-way starter, going to be a starting running back tonight and a starting safety. The first thing that comes to mind is importance. You take him away from this Mason offense, and they lose a little bit of that lifeline, of that heartbeat. They got a great passing game and a great quarterback can throw the ball, but what A.J. Martell brings to the table really opens up everything else. I mean, just under 1,300 yards rushing, 23 touchdowns, having one heck of a senior campaign. And it just goes to show Wald Lake Western's head coach, head coach Soroch, said that he's one of the best running backs I've seen, one of the best running backs in the state, and that goes a long way, understanding the horses in his stable over at Wald Lake Western. So it's going to be a good game today, a lot of running, and A.J. Martell is the name to look out for tonight.
So Grant Ironcold, we're going to go upstairs where it's warm, and Liz is actually going to work hard on the sidelines tonight and try to stay warm. Let's do it. Rematch in the regional final. Going to have a lot of fun tonight. Wald Lake Western and Mason from Wald Lake Western High starts right after this.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry Howie's.
At Alta Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sonnebogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alta Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Curiosity arrives, lighting a path you tenaciously pursue. The unknown presents new challenges, drawing you to a future ready for change. You'll find your calling is closer than imagined. A destination with all the technology and tools to make magic. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
This is one of those nights that makes you fall in love with football and high school football all over again. Dynamite matchup in the regional final. Mason against Wald Lake Western. Lots to talk about throughout the night. Before we get there, though, we pause for our national anthem. Awesome matchup tonight. Second time these two teams have played this year. Mason visiting Wald Lake Western. Second time these two teams have played. For a little more on this matchup, down we go. Third member of our crew, Elizabeth King. Liz is braving the elements down there. And we will get to Liz when we can. Grant, this is an awesome matchup. Mason's 11-0. Candidly, you and I are excited to cover this football team tonight because we've heard about all year how darn good Mason is. Well, we're getting an up-close and personal look at these guys tonight. Team from the greater Lansing area. We talk so much about the teams from Metro Detroit, and we're getting a look at one of those teams in Wald Lake Western tonight. But I don't know, man. Mason kind of feels like a team on a mission. Let's see how they fare tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. I mean, both of these teams went through a battle in Week 8. Really, just Mason came out in the good end of that one. Wald Lake Western shot themselves in the foot a few times there, as both coaches, as we talked to this week, alluded to. But both of them agreed that this one's going to be a close one tonight, so I think we're in store for a really good one.
Tyler Baker's one of the awesome athletes for Mason, the 6'2" senior who holds the school record for picks at defensive back and has 5 touchdowns at wide receiver this year. He's the guy kicking it. Wald Lake Western with a couple of guys back deep in gray and Mason in the whites. Regional final on the line. Off we go from Wald Lake Western. It's an awesome kick for Tyler Baker into the end zone for a touchback. Now let's go down to the field and check in with Liz.
Hey guys, the last time these two teams matched up, it was Week 8. Mason took the trip to Wald Lake Western, got the win 30-7. And we asked Coach Soroch, what needs to happen this time around? He said 2 things. He said we need to play more physical, and he said we really need to challenge them. He said that he could talk for hours about this Mason team. He said they have a lot of respect for them, and they're really honored to be playing them in the regional finals here tonight. He said our guys, though, need to go out and lay it all on the line. Coach Houghton for Mason, he also shared that same respect for this Wald Lake Western team. He said that these guys really match up well with us, and they're definitely going to give us a battle here tonight. But he said that they are confident in the game plan that they have, and they're ready to go for this one here tonight. Evan?
Thank you, Liz. First play of the game, Gavin Noonan, the Thunder, and the Thunder and Lightning combo in the backfield that we were talking about in the open. Gavin gains a good chunk of about 7 yards, Grant, on first down.
Yeah, really good run there. They're trying to get to the edge, a little buck sweep. They're pulling both the guards there. And coming into this game, Mason understood that. They anticipating trying to get to the edge and trying to defend that well. With the speed at the running back position that Wald Lake possesses, you got to be sound on your assignments here, and especially guarding the perimeter.
Jackson Lippert, the quarterback. He's under center. Once again, a give. Plowing ahead awfully close to the first down, about a half-yard shy. Trying the middle of that Mason defensive line with Gavin Noonan. Third down and very short.
And you might have saw that guy run across the formation there in that motion. That's Donovan Triplett. He's going to be also another featured tailback tonight, but he also plays some receiver. Very versatile athlete, only a sophomore here. But, they do a number of ways to get him involved. They also, kind of dress him up as window dressing, right? They try to get the defense to move with the motion, and they run up the middle there with Gavin Noonan. And Gavin Noonan, man, he runs hard. On that run right there, he only picked up a couple, but he put his head forward and got as much as he could.
Right back up the middle. First down. Didn't need a whole heck of a lot. Didn't gain a whole heck of a lot, but it's 3 straight runs for Gavin Noonan. And Wald Lake Western moving the sticks.
Moving the sticks. You want to come out in that first drive. You want to have a successful first few plays right there. These plays here for Wald Lake Western, as for any team starting out the game, are scripted, right? You go over these plays during the week, trying to figure out which ones work the best. And you're going to see a lot of running from Wald Lake Western. I mean, that is their DNA. That's what they want to do. And with the type of O-line that they have, they're going to have the ability to do that at a very high level.
A little bit of motion on that defensive line for Mason. They give to the motioning Donovan Triplett. They showed that action a couple of times. Not much happening here. Maybe a yard, that's it. Whole bunch of Mason Bulldogs in there to help make the tackle, including the Mr. Football candidate, A.J. Martell, 26.
Yeah, A.J. Martell, he's going to be all over the field tonight offensively and defensively, getting in on that tackle. When they're not running up the middle, Wald Lake Western, they're going to try to get to the perimeter. And they do that in a number of ways. Jet sweeps, toss, buck sweeps like we saw in that first play. But really good job there by that strong defensive end there, Caleb Parrish, the captain on that defense for Mason there. 6'5", 220-pound player. Just did a fantastic job of setting that edge and making it cut back to his help. And then A.J. Martell and the rest of that Mason Bulldog defense rallied to the tackle there.
Officially a gain of 1 on the play, 2nd down and 9. Lippert approached the line, then rolled back and found an open man. You don't see that play every day. Wald Lake Western moves the sticks with Hoffmeyer.
Really good play design there. They're going to go quarterback design run here, so everyone's going to think that it's going to be a quarterback run, right up the middle, it looks like. But then he steps back, finds his target there, Lucas Hoffmeyer, and a really good job there. And that showed up in the game that Mason played versus DeWitt. DeWitt actually attempted a little bit of like a halfback toss pass in the goal line area, and it caught Mason slipping. They didn't convert, but that was one thing I noted on my notes there. Watch out, Wald Lake Western might take that. They come out early, try to attempt it there, do a good job moving the sticks, getting across the 50 into Mason territory.
Another run. Noonan keeps his legs moving, spun free of 1 tackle, and then drove ahead as much as he could. There's that thunder we've been talking about.
Yep. He's going to be that thunder aspect tonight in that thunder lightning duo. But both these guys got lightning, man. They're electric. But Gavin Noonan brings a little bit more size to the table. Donovan Triplett, we talked to coach this week. He's a little bit smaller. He's still a sophomore, right? A little bit of maturing to go as far as body frame goes. So they want to give Gavin Noonan the bulk of the carries here early on, especially with that senior leadership he provides. And you can tell early on. I mean, he carries the ball efficiently. I mean, 2 hands on every time he gets it. But right now he's going to kind of be the ball carrier here going forward.
Lippert to throw for the first time. It's tipped and almost picked. 3rd down.
Good job there, and got a guy down here. Hopefully he's okay. It looks like that's going to be Jakari Anderson there. Hopefully he can get up and get back in this game. He's an electric playmaker on this offense and defense as well. He's getting up on his own power, so that's good to see. But Wald Lake Western comes out a little bit of a spread bunch there, trying to get the pass game going a little bit there, kind of keep it balanced. They want to be 50-50, as any team wants to be 50-50 run pass. They trend more 70-30. And coming into a game like today, you got to kind of incorporate all aspects and anticipate that Mason understands that and is going to sell heavy on the run. So good job there by Wald Lake, showing a pass look early on. Didn't convert. The D-line got good hands on that ball. But it's coming out early saying, hey, we can throw it too, and Jackson Lippert can definitely throw it.
They have to here. It's 3rd down and 7. Jackson alone in the gun. He's running all the way left, diving ahead, awfully close. Based on the initial spot, he's got the first down. 3rd and 7 run, no problems. Move the chains again.
And Jackson Lippert, man, I mean, these running backs, quarterbacks, whoever's holding the ball here for Wald Lake Western, they get north and south, and they do it in a fierce manner. I mean, it's 1 foot in the ground. When they see a hole, they get north and south. Really good job, and you got to credit the O-line, too. That left side of the line is especially special, led by that left tackle, Liam Vaughn. The prospect, the junior, 6'2", 295. He's going to have a bright future ahead of him. Sitting here with a Kent State offer. Really a big physical blocker. I guarantee you this won't be the last time we're talking about him. I mean, he is a pancake machine.
And this drive is turning out to be a time-consuming machine. Already 5 minutes into the first quarter. Lippert on the give. Noonan on the run. Once again, a few more yards. Man, Grant, this is one of those drives as a defense where you're on that field and you're shaking your head because try as you might, the other team's gaining 4 or 5 yards of play, and that clock just keeps on ticking.
It's ticking, and this is Wald Lake Western's DNA. They want to run the ball. They want to, in quote, head coach Sir Roach here, they want to pound the rock, and they're going to do that to the best of their ability. They're a power run team. They get in 22 personnel, 32 personnel, so they want to live in those big packages, and you can afford to do that when you got linemen that block like this Wald Lake old line does.
Lippert fakes to the up man, runs left with real estate. They call him an athlete playing quarterback. He looked darn athletic on that play. Going to be 3rd down and very short.
Yeah, really good job maneuvering that edge defender. That's a little bit of an inside read, little zone read. They're going to read that defensive end. If he crashes down, Jackson Lippert's going to keep it, does a good job. The defensive end on that position there was Caleb Parrish, number 4. He gets bit down and then ends up getting blocked as well. Jackson Lippert pulls it very late, gets to the edge, and makes this a very short down and 3 to go here. Right in that Wald Lake comfort area. When they're backed up here in 3rd and long, that's not where they want to be. They want to live in these 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. I guarantee you're going to see some downhill running here.
Timeout. Mason saw something they didn't like, and Wald Lake Western fired up about the fact that Mason already burned a timeout on the first drive of the ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, especially when it's going to be coming down to the clock management and how this team runs the ball. They didn't get off to the best start they wanted to week 8, but if they can establish a run, they're in a good place.
Hungry Howie's is a great partner of the State Champs Network's Mr. Football and Anvil Awards. Congratulations to Hungry Howie's on 50 years of the best flavored crust pizza. Go order your pizza at hungryhowies.com. You know, Grant, for as many times during this season I have read that Hungry Howie's ad, I have yet to get discounted pizza. I mean, what does a man need to do?
I don't know, man. We got to cause a riot or something, man. I could use some Hungry Howie pizza right now. That sounds delicious.
More importantly, a 3rd down and short for Wald Lake Western on an opening drive that has taken over half the quarter. Mason is one of the best football teams in Michigan, but their offense hasn't even touched it yet. Lippert remains the quarterback, Hoffmeyer the fullback, Noonan the deep back. They'll just plunge ahead with Lippert. Once again, didn't need a whole heck of a lot, but they do again gain the first down, and this outstanding opening drive continues.
Yep, and they're letting this clock drip down. They want to be in control of that clock. They're doing a good job of putting themselves in situations to succeed here. I mean, this is the 2nd or 3rd down and short that they've been in. Really converting at a very high rate. Doing a fantastic job on this season. They're about 53%. Right now, so far, they're 100. So really good job on their end.
A patient, methodical, time-consuming drive for the home team in gray and blue and a little bit of white. A motion triplet. Give it to him on the right. Look at the lightning in those feet. The sophomore Donovan Triplett with a big gain and another first down for Wald Lake Western.
And he's fired up. Ref's telling him, hey, you got to calm down, calm those emotions down. Really good job here. They're going to run a little bit of a read again. They're going to read number 54, Connor Osipsik. Connor Osipsik's in no man's land, especially when you got a guy in Donovan Lippett that can, or Triplett, excuse me, that can really turn another gear. He runs at a different speed than most kids, and it shows. And only a sophomore really provides that explosive playmaking that, you know, sometimes the 3, the 4-yard runs, it kind of lull you to sleep. They hand him the ball. I mean, he's popping off for an average of 14 yards a carry.
Lippert keeps, finds room. Jackson Lippert in untouched. What an opening statement by Wald Lake Western.
The senior quarterback saying, I'm going to get in the end zone first, guys. I know you guys are a great run attack, but I can run too. Really good job here. A little bit of a read again, and just a fantastic job. These defensive ends and these inside interior linebackers are going to have a long day if they can't find where that ball's going. Fantastic job of getting the motion across the defense's face and then keeping it, getting right up the middle. This O-line's coming out and attacking right now, and the running backs and quarterbacks are running their tail off. Right now, Wald Lake Western's coming out with a vengeance here, trying to seek revenge from Week 8.
The last time these two teams played, back in the middle of October on the 13th, Wald Lake Western scored 7 points the whole game. They already have 7 tonight. Alta Equipment knows when it comes to getting your job done on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alta Equipment partners with the biggest names in construction with industry-leading service and support. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Grant, sometimes when you talk to coaches and players before a game, you got to take everything with a couple of grains of salt. But when we talked to Wald Lake Western's coaching staff and Corey Soroch, their third-year head coach, a couple of days ago, he said that first game was not indicative of our team. That first game against Mason that they lost 30-7 was a lot closer than it looked. After watching that first drive, I believe him.
Yeah, I believe him. And just like, you know, Coach Soroch had his points, and then Coach Houghton for Mason had his points as well, said, I think this is going to be a one-score game. It's going to be a really tight game. And both those coaches are accurate on their statements there. I mean, Wald Lake Western comes out with a dominant drive on their first drive, really just establishes the run. And it's a cold night. I mean, it gets a little bit harder to tackle in the winter here, especially when it gets cold. So right now, Wald Lake Western's using that to their advantage. But let's see what Mason can do. Mason's a little bit more versatile on offense. So let's see if they can get the attack going as well.
Big Tyler Baker carries the pile across that 35-yard line. And there is a very late flag thrown near the Mason sidelines. So let's see what happens here. Called the sideline warning on Mason. And the drive for the Bulldogs starts at the 35. Well, Grant, that first drive for Wald Lake Western went kind of as we figured it would go. A lot of running, a lot of Noonan, a lot of Lippert at the quarterback spot. I'd have to think this Mason drive is going to feature a lot of number 26, A.J. Martell.
Yes, it will. He finds a way to touch the ball anywhere he's at. He'll come out of the slot. He'll get jet sweeps. He'll start in the backfield here and get handoffs right down the middle. Right now, you'll see him here at the bottom of your screen in the slot. Second receiver from the boundary here, coming in motion.
Fumbled snap. They get it to Martell. Left side looking for real estate, and he turned a negative into a positive. Not a great snap to Kason Carswell, but the quarterback handled it and got it to Martell. The rest of the Mason offense, Carswell the quarterback, 3-year starter. He's still just a junior, Grant. He may already be the best quarterback the school has ever had. Aside from him and Martell, what else do we need to focus on this offense?
I mean, they got a really solid O-line. I mean, they're going to be really trying to establish the run as well, kind of similar to Wald Lake Western. So they got some guys up front. Nick Sadeh at left tackle is a fantastic prospect. And then you got other receivers like Tyler Baker. You mentioned him earlier, number 12. And then number 8, Derek Badgley, another guy to watch out for. Then Caleb Parrish as well. Notice he had a little bit of a cast on his arm. He's a big receiving threat, especially in that red zone. So we'll see how that affects his game today.
Carswell with room. Kason Carswell, big long strides down that left sideline. And the Mason drive is in business.
Really good run here by Kason Carswell. I mean, they're going to be doing the exact same thing here. They're going to be reading. It's going to look like A.J. Martell's going to get this ball going right. But Kason Carswell goes left, and that defense is all shifted to the right. Looking at A.J. Martell, that big threat. And then Kason Carswell, he's got good speed, not breakaway speed, but does a fantastic job getting the edge, finds a way to pick up those hard yards, and really makes this a dynamic offense where you got to really cover every player on that side of the ball.
This is a long Mason offense. Carswell, the quarterback, 6'3". Parrish, number 4 in the slot, is 6'5". They throw it to another big body, Baker, who has a ton of room. Number 12, tackled inside the 30-yard line. The 6'2" senior keeps the drive moving.
Really good job and really good way to find a high percentage completion here. Get the ball outside on the perimeter to one of your playmakers. And number 12, Tyler Baker, like you said, 6'2", 180, bigger body, has good speed. When he catches the ball, really sure-handed, does a fantastic job of navigating the traffic, getting downfield and putting this thing in the red zone.
Mason drive very quickly has moved into Wald Lake Western territory. A.J. Martell running right, wrapped up as he approached the 25-yard line. Nice job by Lucas Price, wrapping up the outstanding running back.
Yep, and you got to wrap with 2 arms. You got to be formed tacklers today when you're going against A.J. Martell. And as you saw there, I mean, those legs were churning. He was trying to run through that tackle, and he will. He'll break those tackles and then run away from you. You got to be sure-handed when you're going to tackle that guy.
4 wide receivers set here. Martell remains the back to Kason Carswell's left. Now Martell motions out. Carswell looking down the field. He's got his man, cast and all. Parrish brings it in, and Mason to the 15-yard line.
Beautiful concept here. They're going to send A.J. Martell wide to the left. That brings that Sam linebacker out. It voids the area in the middle of the field. Then they get their big tight end receiver hybrid in the middle of the field, running a basic route. Basic route 10 yards and in. Does a fantastic job crossing that safety's face, coming flat for the quarterback and making that catch. And I posed this earlier. I said, well Caleb Parrish pre-games had that cast on his wrist. Doesn't seem to affect him. Caught that ball really nicely and put them here inside the 15.
36th catch of the season for Caleb. And Mason starts knocking on the door. Carswell off the fake. Throws. It's caught with a lot of real estate. Flag down. Mason does have a touchdown. Let's see if it stands. The bench is loving it.
I'm going to take a guess here. I'm going to say maybe a pick route. The crossing routes there. Maybe they got someone for a pick. Could be wrong there, but that's my guess. That mesh concept really got him open in that situation there. If he didn't pick it, if he ran right into him, made his defender run into him, good job. But we'll see what the refs say here.
That was Badgley who caught the touchdown. It would be his 3rd of the season. We're not sure if it's going to stand. Can you tell which member of this broadcast booth played Division I football at wide receiver?
Used to love that concept. That mesh concept, it's just a bunch of crossing routes, about 5 yards, 6 yards, and then there's going to be another one that usually sits over the ball in the zone principle there. You want to get that concept versus man coverage. In that situation, those opposite receivers cross pass across the field, and you're supposed to kind of run your defender into the other defender that's coming across the field. That situation there happens a lot. Usually the offensive player kind of gets in the way, sets a little bit of a moving pick, if you will. And that situation there, the ref saw it, called it, and I think that's a good call there.
And that was a double whammy because not only does it take the touchdown off the board, but it moves the football all the way back to the 30. And the line to gain is the 6. It is first down and a mile. Carswell dropping back, loading up, throwing to the end zone. A jump ball's incomplete. They were looking for one of their big bodies, Caleb Parrish, but that time through his hands.
And you can just tell the IQ on Kason Carswell is just fantastic. Talking with Coach Coach Houghton this week, head coach for Mason, really just emphasized his ability to understand defenses. He's really a film junkie, spends honestly, he said, quote unquote, maybe the most amount of time in the film room that he's seen a player spend in there. Understood that was a blitz, understood it was zero-man coverage, threw a ball up to his big receiver there, Caleb Parrish, and he should have came down with that one.
Carswell now spinning back, directing traffic. He throws to Martell, who gained a couple of yards. There's a lot of movement on that play to only gain a couple of yards.
Yep, and that's a fun way to set up the screen, right? You roll left, you send all your receivers to the left side. Looks like you can do a little roll pass left, but then you come back, do a little throwback screen to A.J. Martell there. They ran that against DeWitt. A.J. Martell would have ran for a touchdown, but ended up slipping in that game. This situation here, Chase Shore King did a fantastic job. That defensive end for the Wald Lake Western defense, number 11, standing 6'6", 210, kind of diagnosed that, read it, got on Martell, and made that a short completion, making this a long third down here.
Kason Carswell needs a little pixie dust. Fields the low snap. He's facing pressure. He needs a lot of pixie dust. Carswell turns his shoulders, throws down the field. It's incomplete. Oh, it went through Parrish's hands. He was open.
And that's tough. And he caught the basic route earlier, that 10-yard in, but here's 2 drops here recently, and maybe the cast is affecting him there a little bit. Kason Carswell does a fantastic job, and on film in previous games, of just avoiding the rush, finding figuring out ways to maneuver the defense and then keeping the play alive, finding receivers downfield. And that ball is perfectly placed on the 6'5", tight end receiver hybrid, Caleb Parrish. Caleb Parrish just can't come down with it. Starting to think maybe that cast is playing a little bit with his mind. I could imagine playing with a cast. That'd be a tough task there. Opportunity missed for Mason, one that I'm sure they wish they had back there.
We're about to find out how far Colin Winters can kick it. His longest this year is 34. This is from 45. It's a clean snap and hold, and the kick is good. How about it, Colin? His longest kick of the season comes in the regional final. I think he could have hit it from 50. Man, if you're Mason, Grant, I'm coming back to that sidelines, and yes, I'm pumped that Colin just made his longest kick of the year and got 3 points. But the fact of the matter remains, those officials ruled an offensive pass interference that took a touchdown off the board, and it basically killed the drive.
Yep, and they missed some opportunities there to kind of come back from that. But that offensive penalty definitely hurt them and pushed them out of their comfort zone there.
Every high school sporting event in our great state of Michigan has one thing in common: the officials, and they're needed now more than ever. Go to MHSA.com for a little bit more information, because without officials, it's only practice. So each team has an awesome first drive. Wald Lake Western goes right down the field and scores in an opening drive that took darn near 9 minutes. Mason's drive went a little bit quicker, stalled out as they approached the red zone, and they had to settle for that field goal. Tyler Baker never leaves the field. He plays offense, he plays defense, and he's also the guy kicking off for Mason. His last kick nearly cleared the end zone. This one also nearly clears the end zone. That's a heck of a leg.
That is. The kid's got a boot. Really good athlete as well, so that's a special combination right there.
That is the best consistent kickoffs I have seen since Zach Bach was kicking off for Detroit Catholic Central about 10 years ago. Zach went on to play soccer at Western Michigan, one of the best soccer players that they've ever had. Now, Grant, how would I have instant recollection that Zach Bach was a great kicker for Detroit Catholic Central? How would I know that?
I don't know. Why don't you tell us? Enlighten us.
I played with Zach. I was on the kickoff team, so I just got some cardio because every kick went into the end zone.
Oh, I bet it was a full head sprint to touch that goal line.
I didn't win many of those races. I'm not at all bitter about it. Drive number 2 for Wald Lake Western starts. Lippard faked and then threw high. It's kind of an odd play, Grant. He did a play fake to nobody.
Yeah, kind of what we saw earlier on that looked like it was going to be a quarterback design run where he kind of approaches the line of scrimmage, steps back, makes a throw. Kind of the same situation there. Looks like he's going to attempt to approach the line of scrimmage, steps back. The receivers are in a trip bunch, kind of set over there, a trip stack, if you will. He tended to throw that to Jakari Anderson just a little bit high. Jakari Anderson sitting at 5'7", so just a little bit of a better ball there. Would have got his playmaker a little bit of time there and some space to work with.
Final minute of a quick-moving and dramatic first quarter. First time these two teams played, Mason won by over 3 touchdowns. It sure doesn't feel like it's going to be that lopsided tonight. Pitch left. Triplett looking for real estate. This sophomore can make a little magic. Donovan Triplett trying to lean those shoulders near the line to gain. He's darn close. Man, this guy is fast.
And boy, is he fast, man. He reminds me of DeAnthony Thomas out of Oregon, old receiver, running back type hybrid back in the day. But he's got electric speed, and he can turn a play that's looking like it's going left, and he can put a foot in the ground and go all the way back to the other side there. So this Mason defense has got to stay on their P's and Q's here. That was a good 20-yard run to gain about 6-7 yards. But it's those little plays that really matter in this offense, right? You know, Gavin Noonan's going to be hitting out between the tackles, running hard, 2 hands on the ball, also an explosive player. And Donovan Triplett's going to come in and give that explosive aspect that, Mason, you can't take a break when one's off the field. You got to be ready to go when they're both in the game and one's not.
Third down short. Once again, a run right up the middle. Noonan was met near the sticks, but they give Gavin a great spot. A full 2 yards ahead of the first down marker. And once again, Wald Lake Western very good on third down.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job, 100% tonight. And Gavin Noonan, I mean, he's 5'11", 180, decent-sized kid there, ran hard, got his foot in the ground, picked up those 2 yards, met Derek Badgley there in the middle there. Derek Badgley's playing linebacker for that Mason defense, and it was a good collision, but Gavin Noonan won that one, got the 2 yards, picked up the first down.
Wald Lake Western does not have to snap it again in the first quarter, and they will not. They want a little noise from the home crowd, and that crowd has got a lot of excuses to cheer. Through 12 minutes of football, Wald Lake Western with the lead and the ball to start the second quarter when you come on back to Wald Lake Western High School.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry
Howie's.
I said I'd never join.
Then I wouldn't get to work on one of these.
Never knew how strong I was.
I figured I'd never get out of my hometown. Or be the one who stops an attack.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Bogan, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Earlier this season, 2 Mason students were tragically involved in an accident that took their lives. Coach said that this season is dedicated to them. He said something like this could have definitely derailed the season, but instead the guys decided to rally around this team, rally around the community, and rally around the families. Evan?
Liz, thank you. Covering high school sports is such a unique opportunity for all of us involved. For Grant and I specifically, a couple of guys who were playing high school athletics not too long ago. Yes, you get wrapped up in the wins and losses. Yes, it's important. Everyone wants to win, Grant. But never lose sight of how much these events help communities. Jackson Lippard running right into a wall. Nice job by Sam Corey, bringing him down for a loss on what was first down and 5. Watch the junior here, 81, setting the edge and wrapping up Lippard. Communities like Mason, right? Greater Lansing area. Yes, they get to celebrate a football team that's probably the best the school's ever had. They're 11-0 this year. But also when events happen like what Liz was talking about, helps them heal, helps them get through things. And it's a sobering reminder that, yeah, athletics are fun. We care about them, but really they serve a greater purpose to communities, to towns, to individuals, to families.
Yeah, especially when you can get behind an unfortunate tragedy, and I can't imagine being a part of that community. And condolences out to the families affected by that and all the student body and just the community in general. But when you can get behind something like that and play for something bigger than yourself, not only does it help you, but it just kind of uplifts the community as well.
Getting back to the football game, it's a 2nd down and 7 for Wald Lake Western here. Mason committed a penalty that made it 1st down and 5. Then you saw Jackson Lippert run into a wall named Sam Corey. And now Wald Lake Western calls timeout. How do you think each team is feeling after the first quarter?
I think Wald Lake Western is doing exactly what they want to do. They're pounding the rock. They're picking up and making manageable 3rd downs here. I think Mason probably would want their drive back. They had that offensive pass interference down in the red zone. Didn't get that touchdown that they wanted. So I think Mason would have some regrets here, that some things that they wish they could change. And I think Wald Lake Western is on the course that they want to be on.
It's an offense that roared right down the field and scored a touchdown on their opening drive of the night. This is drive number 2. Officially a 2nd down and 8 after the timeout. Lippert off the fake, running right, and he cut back left. He made something out of what initially looked like nothing, and it's going to be 3rd down and short for Wald Lake Western.
And Mason was not fooled there. They send Donovan Triplett in motion, trying to get everyone's attention there. But quarterback keeps it. Quarterback design run. Picks up a decent amount of yards there. Looked like it was going to get tackled for a minimal gain. But Mason D-line there kind of swarmed the ball and made that an effective tackle there. Make this a 3rd down. An opportunity here for Mason to get off the field here and help their offense get back on the field, get back into rhythm. But if anything goes as how the show's been going, Wald Lake Western's been picking up these 3rd downs at a very high rate so far here tonight.
They're facing a 3rd and 3 here, Grant. They give to the motioning Triplett. That's usually a good decision. Martell wraps him up right near the line to gain, and a flag came out after the tackle was made, and they threw it where usually holding's called. Based on the initial spot, I think Triplett got the 1st down, but it doesn't matter. It's a hold on Wald Lake Western.
Yep, and like you said, right in that holding area, you see that ref come in from that back head linesman area. It's probably going to be a holding there or some type of hands to the face. That situation, Donovan Triplett got the edge with extreme ease there. A.J. Martell met him right at the line, but you got to think that maybe that defensive end got held a little bit. He got around that corner with some ease there.
So wipe the 1st down off the board, move it back a bunch of yards after the penalty. And now 3rd down 13 for Wald Lake Western.
Yeah, and this is a situation where Wald Lake Western doesn't want to be in. They've been in 3rd down and shorts here to start the game. So you might see run here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get a high percentage pass here.
They fake it, roll Lippert. Jackson looking down the field. He throws a completion, but it is shy of the sticks. They found Noonan out of the backfield. Nick Wells wrapped him up, hung on for dear life, and Wald Lake Western has to make a decision on 4th down.
If they're in their own territory here, the run game's been working really well. Might want to play the field position here, as this is going to be one of those games. But really good job there by Nick Wells, that cornerback. Gavin Noonan came out of the backfield. It was a run action. Quarterback rolled right. Nick Wells had every right to go with the flow, but he stays home, covers Gavin Noonan, and makes this a 4th down.
The punter is Gavin Roberts, number 2. He came off the field. The offense is on the field. 4th down and 4 in your own territory. Does Wald Lake Western roll the dice? Doesn't look like it. They motioned Triplett to see if Mason would jump. They didn't. And Wald Lake Western burns its 2nd timeout of the 2nd quarter.
I like the approach there. You're trying to draw them offside. You're just right in that area where you can pick up the 1st down if you draw the penalty there. And the way that Donovan Triplett has been getting that edge, you got to think that Mason would jump on that situation, but they didn't. Stayed home. Good job.
Are you considering the U.S. Navy as enlisted or as an officer? Learn about the American Navy and your career opportunities within the U.S. Armed Forces. Contact the local U.S. Navy recruiting office. The number to call, 734-679-1998. Mason defense appears to have just gotten their first stop of the night. Wald Lake Western could, of course, elect to go for it, but they are now sending the punt unit on the field after the timeout. First drive for Mason got into the red zone. They thought they scored a touchdown, but an offensive pass interference wiped it off the board, and then they settled for a field goal. It appears like they're about to get the ball back, as the punter, Max Kirk, is back deep for Wald Lake Western. A.J. Martell set to receive the punt from Mason. He's standing right around the 30. Snap to Kirk. Flag flies as Max sends it away. Martell fields at the 30. He sprints right up the middle and plunges ahead near the 45. Got to check the flag. Grant, we had a nice flow to that first quarter, and now to start the second quarter, we're kind of going stop and start here.
Yeah, it's getting a little choppy here. Defense has stepped up for Mason there. A couple penalties helped them out. It looks like it's going to be a false start here on the punt team. Someone jumped to try to get the gun there, but
Wald Lake Western coaching staff is wondering exactly what went wrong. Saroch got the explanation, and he doesn't like it. By the way, really appreciate all the coaches all year and the two coaching staffs this week for giving us a little bit of time. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about the world of broadcasting, Grant, is that we show up and just call the game and look at a roster and go home. No, especially for football. You were preparing all week long, and we couldn't prepare properly at the high school level if we didn't have the cooperation of all the coaching staffs and players and communities. So not just to Mason and Wald Lake Western, but for everyone who's been helping us out this year, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Carswell, the quarterback, is brought down in the backfield. Big Liam Vaughn wasn't letting him go anywhere.
No, Liam Vaughn, he's a force on offense, but also a force on defense, playing that defensive tackle position. You're going to see him here just get in the backfield. It looks like it's going to be a jet sweep, but it's a quarterback design run, and Liam Vaughn shuts it down before it even gets started there. That'll be his second tackle for loss on the season. Good job by Liam Vaughn. He's really a force to be reckoned with, and only a junior as well. Bright future for that young man.
Yeah, and that entire Vaughn family is really remarkable. Liam's three other brothers all played Division I football. One went to Eastern Michigan, one went to UAB, one went to Wisconsin. And now Liam, poor Liam, has to try to live up to all those expectations. Loss of 2, second down 12. Carswell fields the snap. He's looking downfield, and he has his man. He dropped it in the bucket, and Mason in business. Reese tracks it down. First and goal for the Mason Bulldogs.
And Cole Reese showing off the speed right there. I mean, gets inside leverage. It's cover 4 here. They're going to run a post. He gets behind the safety's head, and he already has great leverage on the cornerback. And then it's all speed and accuracy, and you got both right there. And the pluck, the underhand pluck, beautiful catch. Cole Reese is a playmaker, a two-way starter on this Mason team. Just does a fantastic job standing at 5'10", 160 pounds. But you can see the speed right there. I mean, pure speed, great route, great connection there, putting them here in a scoring position.
Carswell dropping back, throwing to Martell. That is an incomplete pass. It was a screen that really looked doomed from the start.
Yeah, it didn't look promising there. Wald Lake Western and the Liam Vaughn and company kind of were on that a little bit there. Kind of the receivers on the outside just ran their guys off. Didn't even look like they were looking for the ball there. A.J. Martell kind of tried to slip out to the right. Wald Lake Western does a good job. They've been doing a really good job so far here covering the screen game. That's something that you can tell the coaches came in and said, hey, we got to prepare for this. Because Mason does a fantastic job of finding ways to get guys the ball, whether it's jet sweeps to A.J. Martell or screen games. High percentage completions are Case and Carswell's his go-to.
They put Carswell under center and pitch it to Martell. He's throwing back to the quarterback. Carswell is open. Can he get to the goal line? You bet he can. Flex on him, Kaysen. He gets the pass from Martell, and Mason takes the lead for the first time tonight.
What a play here. We call it the Mason special, right? It's a little bit of a halfback toss, but the pure athlete, the A.J. Martell, the captain, says, you know what, I'm going to throw this back to my quarterback, give him a little taste of that receiver, getting in the field action. Good job there and good catch. A little bit underthrown, but Kaysen Carswell does a fantastic job of coming back to the ball and then just maneuvering his way through the defenders, getting in that end zone. Really good job by the 6'3 quarterback, catching that ball. Good throw. Really good play.
Winner slams through the extra point. I know a lot of these guys on these teams are going to go back and watch this broadcast after the game ends. You know Martell and Carswell are going to go back and watch that play like 75 different times.
Absolutely. That's a play that they're going to put on huddle immediately. You'll see that one on Twitter tomorrow, I guarantee it.
Lawrence Technological University is located in pristine Southfield, Michigan, and is among the largest college of architecture and design in the nation. They have visit days coming up on the 18th this month, November, and December 9th too. Go learn more and visit ltu.edu. This game just feels like playoff football, Grant, not only because it's a chilly, mid-40s and windy night, but the teams are throwing punches. Wald Lake Western's first drive takes darn near 9 minutes. They score. Then Mason gets a field goal, gets a stop. Now they go down and score a touchdown. Kind of feels like we're going to get counter punches from these two teams all night.
Yeah, it's going to be a counter punch kind of night. Who's going to have the last shot? It kind of feels like whoever has the ball last is going to be kind of in the driver's seat of this one. But if you're Wald Lake Western, you really want to convert on these third downs, especially kind of your DNA is a run game, right? You don't want to find yourself down in the game having to run the ball and then eventually having to throw the ball because that's not what you want to do. You want to run the ball efficiently. Mason is more of a versatile team here. They're pulling out all the bags, all the tricks out of the bags right now. So it's going to come down to who has the ball last, and Wald Lake Western's got to get something going here.
This is going to help. It was a short kick. Mason trying to mitigate a big return, and it didn't really matter because Nick Thompson just took it across the 40-yard line.
They're setting themselves up in great field position, and that's a run team's best option right there. That's what they love. Getting good field position. 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. They could have the potential to drain this thing down to 3 minutes, put this thing in, and really establish that lead again.
First and 10 Warriors from their own 45.
Lippert brings the boys back on the field. Jackson Lippert, number 17, the quarterback for Wald Lake Western, finished off that awesome first drive with a touchdown run. Here he's giving to Noonan on the left, and not a whole heck of a lot there. Caleb Vaughn gets up and claps. Grant Gilchrist, number 74, one of the men in there making the tackle for Mason too.
Good job by Grant Gilchrist, there. 22 season, first-team All-Region player, coming back this year, having another great season. 68 tackles on the year, really a force up front, two-way starter for this Mason team. A fierce, coach said he's one of the most disruptive D linemen they have, so it shows there. He gets the bear hug on the running back, it brings him down there for a very short gain.
Officially a gain of 2. And all those long runs on the first drive for Wald Lake Western are very quickly turning into shorter runs. Lippert gives again. Once again, not much. Noonan did get across midfield, and he makes it a third down and more manageable, but it really has been tough sledding the last couple of drives.
Yeah, and it feels like Mason, the critiques that the coaches have kind of gave them their players here, it seems like it's working. These runs that we're going for 7-8 yards a pop here are going for 2 to 3 now, and that's where Mason wants to live. They want to live in these short run situations. They want to allow the explosive play. And Wald Lake Western, they got to find a way to get creative here because they're kind of a one-dimensional run team. It's going to be either to the edge, inside, or quarterback run. So they're going to have to figure out ways here to get these guys in space. That's where their playmakers make the most plays, when they have an opportunity to break that second-level tackle or that third-level tackle and take it to the house.
Fake on third down and 5. Lippert rolls and throws as he got hit. It's incomplete. Airtight coverage from Cole Reese. And it's 4th down.
Great coverage there by Cole Reese, really coming up here in some big plays. That's a 3rd down. They're doing a roll pass. Quarterback here has the edge, but does a fantastic job. The defender is smothered all over Ryan Boyce. Ryan Boyce kind of runs a comeback route, slips in his route. Jackson Lippert just trying to give him an opportunity there. But when you're falling down, that ball's coming to the defensive backs on your back. That's a hard completion to make. And Mason here, 2 straight, forced punts. Mason taking control.
And now Max Kirk back in the field to punt. Great punt. Martell can only watch it bounce and roll into the end zone. A little bit too much juice on that kick from Max Kirk. The Construction Association of Michigan provides a vast resource array of services, information, and training to our diverse membership within Michigan's construction industry. Go to buildwithcam.com for more information. Just about half of the second quarter to go. Mason scored on each of their first 2 drives. About to start the third drive, and keep in mind they're going to get the ball to start the second half. This is one of those little moments in a game, Grant, that can make the score look real different real quick.
Absolutely. You can go up 2 scores here with the opportunity to get the ball here to start the second half. I mean, that's exactly where the Mason coaches want to be. That's where the players want to be. And if you're Wald Lake Western, you got to find a way to steal a possession here, get the ball back, and slow down this Mason offense.
Carswell, the junior quarterback, is under center. Martell once again the deep back. AJ hasn't popped a big one yet. That's a pretty darn good run. Tried the right side with great success. And a good start to the drive for Mason.
Good, strong run there. I mean, you live and you're happy with that 3 to 4 yard range, but when a running back can pick up 5-6 yards, you're sitting there in a second, in about 4 or 5, you're living in an opportunity there for the playbook to expand, right? You can throw a pass, you can run a run. Really gives the offensive coordinator, Chad Somerville, a lot of opportunity to get his playmakers the ball and do it in a way that Wald Lake Western wouldn't expect.
Second out and 3. A throw. Good decision by the offensive coordinator, Somerville. Badgley goes down to make the catch. Mason moves the sticks. Chad Somerville, the offensive coordinator that Grant just brought up. It's such a really interesting spot for Chad because up until Kason Carswell came along, he was maybe the greatest quarterback the school's ever had. So give to A.J. Martell, and he maybe gained 2 yards. Somerville was a 4-year starter for Mason. In the mid-2000s, went on to play at Grand Valley. Now he's watching Carswell break all his records. Kason still has 1 more year to go. And we did ask head coach Gary Houghton the other day, how does Chad Somerville feel about the fact that he's now coaching maybe the greatest Mason football team ever, and they're breaking all his records? He goes, if he's being honest with himself, it feels a little weird, but when we keep winning football games, it's not too bad.
Yeah, hey, winning solves all the issues, I'll tell you that much. But you got to imagine he's so excited to see the way that Kason Carswell has progressed. And you can just tell by the way he operates. That last throw he had to Badgley, I mean, it was a timing route. He had that ball out before he was even in his break.
Carswell again, throwing over the middle. It's knocked away, hoping for Badgley, but Aiden Branoff had the defense.
Good defense there by Aiden Branoff. Running a little bit of a dig route there, Badgley is, and he's coming flat. Quarterback there, Kason Carswell, steps up in the pocket, does a good job throwing a rifle in there, puts it a little bit on his back shoulder. If you give him a little bit of a lead there, he might have been able to come down with it. That's a tough contested catch, that Badgley usually catches. I mean, he has great hands. He finds a way to catch the ball, and he's a big body. I mean, 6'1", 205. That's a big boy running across the middle there. And Branoff, 6 feet, 170 pounds there. So a little bit of a mismatch, but good job, good defense there, setting up a third here in 9.
Got to get to midfield. And a timeout. Mason just called their second timeout of the first half. Mason's been pretty good on third downs today, but a 3rd down and 9 always makes you a little nervous. Mason is in the midst of the best stretch of football the school's ever had. They've won the regional championship in Division III the last 2 years. In 2021, Kason Carswell, as a freshman, burst onto the scene when he threw a game-winning touchdown in the last minute to beat the Brother Rice Warriors. Grant, look away. And last year, Mason pulled away in their regional final in the second half to beat one of the powers from downriver, the Trojans from Trenton High. Mason took them down last year 49-30 to win the regional title for the second year in a row. The unfortunate thing for Mason, the last 2 years, they ran into Dante Moore and Detroit King in the semis, so they've lost back-to-back years. Yes, there's a chance that Mason has to play Detroit King again this year. Whoever wins this game gets the winner of King and Rouge in the semis next week. But all right now Mason can think about, Grant, is these Wald Lake Western Warriors, because they've come to play tonight.
Yeah, they have, and they've showed that, even when they're having to punt the ball, they're going to play tough defense. And I'm sure, when you play a team once already in the season, you get a lot of tendencies on film, and both these teams are prepared hard and well. The Wald Lake Western's defense needs to stop right here.
Martell motions back to the right side. That's who they get it to. Martell in space, hoping to create. I think he got the first down. Give A.J. Martell a little bit of room to work, and he'll make it happen for you.
And you just got to credit the OC, Chad Somerville, again here, understanding the situation, sending a motion, right, getting a pre-snap indicator of what coverage you're in. Grayson Carswell does a fantastic job of seeing that when that guy runs with A.J. Martell, he knows it's going to be man coverage. And when he gets all the way across the field and then reverts and goes back, he's got him out leveraged. Throws the flat route, quick, easy throw, and then you're just getting your playmaker the ball in space, and he makes the rest happen.
3rd and 9, no problems for Mason. Back to Martell. AJ gets what he can, leans ahead, gains a couple of yards on first down. We all knew those guys and girls growing up who were the most annoying people in the world because they were good at everything they tried. A.J. Martell is that guy. Last year he was a state champion in the hurdles. He's the all-time leading rusher at Mason. Oh, by the way, he also dives on the swim team. He wrestles. Literally, he's good at anything he tries. Carswell throws here, and once again, Badgley is open. And once again, Mason's got a first down. The drive's humming.
Their passing game is smooth, and then they find ways to get guys involved. I mean, that's a quick, short out route. But, you have a quarterback in Casey Carswell that's 6'3", can see over that offensive line and those defenders. Makes a nice, easy throw to the sideline. Gets your 6'1", 205 receiver in Derek Badgley the ball. And just cuts upfield, makes the first down. Really good play and good throw.
Carswell spins and sets up that screen. This is Reese, who is coming back all the way across the field, and he's planted behind the line of scrimmage. Troy Temple, all 160 pounds of him, with the biggest hit of the night.
Been waiting to hear his name get called. Troy Temple, one of their rocks on defense, plays that free safety position, that center fielder in that defense. But he came up and met him at the line of scrimmage right there. I mean, that was a collision. Leads the team in tackles with 71, make that 72 right now. Really good job there. That play could have really helped Mason. I mean, they reverted all the way across field. Could have been a kickoff return, getting to the sideline. But Troy Temple shuts that down, makes a hard hit, sets the tone here, makes this a 2nd and 11.
Carswell starts alone in the gun. Now they motion Martell. Fake it to A.J. Carswell down the field. There is a wide open man. That's Logan Dorr. The touchdown out of nowhere.
Fantastic job here. They're just going to send the motion, get everyone thinking it's going to be a sweep, and then they catch the safety. Nick Thompson kind of lacking in the middle of the field. They definitely don't think Logan Dorr is going to go run a seam route down the middle of the field. He's more of a blocking running back here, fullback, if you will. But they do a fantastic job of sneaking him right up at the safety, and he sneaks right by him. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch. And that's a great job of disguising what you're doing, right? Going against the tendencies. You don't see Logan Dorr with a lot of catches or touchdown receptions. But when it's playoff football, man, you can't count anyone out. Great play call, great scheme, and a really good conversion here as this half is winding down.
Grant, you know this a lot better than me. In a long football season, sometimes you save certain plays for when it matters most. I feel like they've been saving that play to Logan Dorr for when it matters most. May as well pull it out in the regional final.
Really, yeah, you got to pull out all the tricks here. I mean, especially when you've played a team twice, you really got to dig deep and find what works. And Wald Lake's in this cover 4 set, so like when that safety's sitting there and he gets a guy coming at him in Logan Dorr is going to throttle down, make it look like he's going to sit for a sit route a little bit over the ball. And he does a fantastic job of kind of hesitating and then running right by him, and he catches Nick Thompson looking in the backfield. Great play scheme there. And Kason Carswell's vision is spectacular. He's finding the right targets. He's making the throws, doing a really good job of commanding this offense. And like you said, a 3-year starter as a junior. I mean, he's playing really well. He's got a bright future. And Logan Dorr with the beautiful catch there and run.
17 unanswered by Mason. First drive of the game, Wald Lake Western goes right down the field and scores. They take darn near 9 minutes, but ever since it's been Bupkis. And ever since, it has been Mason's night. Still 3:14 on the clock here in the first half. Wald Lake Western with 1 timeout. And a tricky little spot for the home team because Mason scheduled to get the ball to start the second half. Baker to kick it again. Wald Lake Western has a chance to return it. They fumble and find it at the 10-yard line. Not a little bit of room with Anderson spinning across the 30 up to the 35-yard line. And it ends up being good starting field position for Wald Lake Western.
Be interested to see here, going out through the season, Wald Lake hasn't found themselves down in a lot of games. Kind of been dominating in the run game. They were down to Mason. Obviously, they lost that game. But interested to see what they have to do here in order to move the ball. In between the tackles right now, Mason's doing a fantastic job of getting to the ball, making it a short yardage run, and then they're protecting the perimeter really well on top of that. So I want to see what Wald Lake Western does here. If they're going to pass, what kind of schemes they're going to do, and see what they what they can draw up to get a big play here to end this half.
Lippert's got the touchdown run for Wald Lake Western. But they've had a couple of drives that have ended in punts here in this second quarter so far. Lippert hands to Triplett on a mini reverse, and Donovan gets what he can up to the 39-yard line. Mason says the ball's out. I don't think it was out.
Just running a little bit of a reverse to the field here. They're in a bunch set to the boundary, and then they get this shifty Donovan Triplett here with the ball. We'll see if he's down. It looks like he is. Yep, definitely down. That's a good call by the referee, the sideline. Got to be careful here. They can't start dropping the ball, even after the fact. It provides a little bit of motivation to that defense, and it gives them an incentive. Hey, let's go for that ball. He already put it on the ground once. I know he was down. Let's try to get it out when he's up.
Lippert went all the way to the sidelines to get the play call. Now that's burning a lot of clock here. Lippert under center. Given to Noonan. He does not have the first down. It is going to be 3rd down and short, but that also means the clock is going to keep moving. Under 2 minutes to go in the half.
Yep, and they're going to have to step on the gas here a little bit. They're picking up a few yards here and there, making it a 3rd down and manageable. But you got about 55 yards to go here if you want to put this thing in the end zone. In between the tackles, it's just getting shut down right now. I mean, you're not getting onto the second level with your explosive playmakers here. They're doing a good job containing Gavin Noonan and Donovan Triplett. So let's see if they can craft a way to get these guys in space, whether it's a screen of some sort or even if they take a shot. They got some big receivers over there, and Chase Schwerking, a 6'6" receiver tight end for them. I can see him making a play, but it's going to have to come off of a big play here by their quarterback.
Lippert gives to Noonan, and he's got the first down and a lot more. All the way inside the 30, and Wald Lake Western is grooving now.
Yep, and that's what they needed. They trust their system. They're a run-first power offense. They get a good counter play here, and he hits the hole going. Really good blocking by Wald Lake Western, and he gets up onto this 3rd level, and Cole Reese makes a touchdown-saving tackle. But when he has a lane to run, and Gavin Noonan and Donovan Triplett, I mean, they have the gas to go. Really good job there, and that's the play that they needed. They needed a big chunk of the explosive play. Explosive plays are described as 12 yards or more in the run game. Really good job there of getting down here into the red zone. And the clock is winding down under a minute. Got to get your best plays in here if you want to get this thing in the end zone.
Lippert in the gun, keeping. Trying to find room on the left, not a whole heck of a lot. Dipped his shoulders to the 24-yard line, and now Wald Lake Western is going to burn that final timeout they have. with 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Coming up at halftime, Lauren Plant in the State Champs studio with all the latest updates in the Mr. Football and Anvil Awards. A whole lot more coming up at halftime. Stay tuned. All right, so always got to keep in mind where the field goal range is at this spot of halftime. The kicker, Max Kirk, who we've seen punt the ball a couple of times tonight, his longest field goal is 38 yards. That means that Wald Lake Western has to get right around the 25, just inside there, to really start thinking about field goal. They've got that ball spotted right around that point right now. But with that huge run that Noonan just pulled off, Wald Lake Western has to be thinking touchdown here.
Yeah, they have to. And you got to be, you're in the huddle right now talking to Coach LaRoche, and you got to understand here, it's probably they're giving them 2 calls here. As soon as you get the first play done, you got to get back to the line of scrimmage and either one, spike the ball, give yourself some time to reevaluate what you want to do, or have a second play ready to go. But what you don't want to do in this situation is take a sack or a turnover right here. So look for Jackson Lippert to make the right decision, try to get this ball on the edge, find one of his playmakers.
3 wide receivers near side of your screen. Lippert looks that way and sets it up to Anderson, blocking on the outside. Out of bounds inside the 20. Doesn't have the first down, but a good gain. Stopping the clock and making it 3rd down and short.
Yep, good job there, getting the ball to your shifty playmaker, your sophomore receiver, Jakari Anderson. And one thing I want to keep in mind here, I haven't seen Mason done it. Jakari Anderson is 2 for 2 in passing too, so they could get some guys involved here in a different aspect. He also has a touchdown pass on top of that, and Chase Schwerking also has a couple passes there. So look for them to maybe mix it up and go a little bit of a Mason style and try to catch them off guard.
They've still got those 3 wide receivers bunched up right side. Lippert runs all the way. Jackson's got the first down. That'll stop the clock. They mark him down at the 13-yard line. It'll roll as they reset the chains, and it'll roll under 30 seconds to go.
Looks like they're going to spike it here, get another call from the huddle, and go from there.
They clock it right at 30 seconds. Grant, you're the guy with all the offensive background here. How are you attacking this? What concept you think?
Well, I'm looking for matchups here. I like Chase Schwerking's height, 6'6", 210. He's got 10 receptions, 5 touchdowns, so he is a threat in that red zone. Your other playmakers are a little bit more speedy, but don't have enough size. Not enough. I mean, everyone's got enough, but they don't have the size that Chase Schwerking does. So I'd like to see them maybe give Chase Schwerking a shot here, and he's going to line up solo here to the left. Oh no, his receivers are coming. But maybe get him involved here. A little spotter concept, kind of what Mason ran on that previous play with a sit in a corner. Something where you can get a high ball to one of your good players here, and if it's incomplete, the clock stops.
Lippert looking that way. Throw into the corner of the end zone. A contested ball in that corner. It's incomplete. Anderson locked up with Martell. 3rd down.
A good attempt there. They just tried to run like a little bit of a post wheel, trying to get a one-on-one matchup on the outside. Good location on the ball. You want that ball on the back pylon in a little bit of an invisible box, as we call it. You put it right over there, right over the receiver's shoulder. Jakari Anderson just going to come up with it. Look for them to try to attack the end zone here again. They had a one-on-one matchup here with Donovan Triplett at the bottom of the screen last time. Now it looks like it's going to be a 2-by-2 set. So look for them to try to maybe even get a little bit of a motion here. Your receiver pass might come in on this play.
Lippert dropping back, throwing a wheel route to the end zone. That's Gavin Noonan, and that's a touchdown. Just his 7th catch of the season, and my goodness, what a time for it.
Fantastic job here. They're just going to run a little bit of a mesh concept again where they're crossing pass, and then they send the running back on a wheel route, and that safety is late to relate. And really good job getting your playmaker in space, dialing it up, understanding the coverages that you're given in the red zone, finding a way to get your playmaker the ball without wasting that time on the ground running. Good job there, and a really good throw by Jackson Lippert to convert that for a touchdown.
Max Kirk's extra point up and good. If you thought Wald Lake Western was going anywhere, think again. Mason had scored 17 unanswered, but the Warriors roll right back. Lippert throws for his first touchdown tonight, and the home team is really alive late in the first half. All right, so now you do wonder, right? How does Mason attack this? 19 seconds, one timeout on the clock.
Let's get this shit to the house. You good? Come on, let's do it, man. We don't have a lot of time. Let's get to the house. Let's get down there. Yeah, let's play right here to the house.
So you may have been able to hear in that huddle, they said, let's get this thing to the house. I substituted thing for a different word, because if I said that different word, Grant, they'd have to find somebody else to call the second half of it.
Yep, and I don't want to be the play-by-play guy. I like doing my my analyzing here. I love having you by my side, so I appreciate you blurring out those words. But you got to imagine that Mason's going to try to get a good return here, leaving with say 12, 13 seconds left. They might try a shot. But at the same time, you don't want to give up a big play, so they might just also take it in half. Really, see what they do. The return can depend. I can't speak right now. I apologize. I'm so excited for the second half already. The return will tell us a lot here.
Yeah, here's Kirk. He drives a gorgeous kick into the end zone. That always works. Kason Carswell has accounted for both Mason touchdowns in the first half. Number 5, the quarterback, has thrown for one, and he's caught one. A.J. Martell threw a touchdown pass to Kason earlier on in the first half. Colin Winters, the kicker, also made a 45-yard field goal, by the way. Shout out to Colin, his longest kick of the year. Mason content to take this thing to the locker room. I don't blame them. They're about to get the ball to start the second half. So Kason will kneel on the ball. That clock will wind down to the end of the first half. And we will start mentally and physically preparing for what should be an awesome second half. Counter punches galore in that first half. Mason's got the lead, but I got a sneaking suspicion that Wald Lake Western is not going anywhere in this upcoming second half of football. Liz Kuhn down on the sidelines, standing by with Gary Houghton, the head coach for the Mason Bulldogs.
Coach, you said this one was going to be a battle earlier this week. We've seen it so far in the first half. What adjustments do you want to make moving into the second?
I think we've got to figure out how to run the ball. They're doing a great job stuffing the run. Our passing game's been outstanding, but I would say we've got to figure out how to stop their running game and get our running game going.
Yeah, and what's going to be the message in the locker room?
To finish, win the half.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Liz, thank you. Stay warm down there. Mason and Wald Lake Western locked in a great one. Second time these two teams have played this season. The first score was Mason 30, Wald Lake Western 7. That's not going to be the final score tonight. Halftime here from Wald Lake Western High School. Mason up by 3. And we have halftime coming for you right after this.
Pretzlaff. He's got 112 tackles, actually the most tackles, I believe, of this current set. A divisions. State Champs Nation, there has never been a more exciting time to consider Lawrence Technological University. Just minutes away from 2 of Southeast Michigan's most popular entertainment destinations in Royal Oak and downtown Detroit. With 5 colleges to choose from, every admitted student is automatically reviewed for scholarships, ranging from $4,500 to $16,000 per year. LTU also offers over 24 Division II level varsity NAIA sports, and unlike NCAA Division III schools, full athletic scholarships. Come to Lawrence Tech's Visit Day on Saturday, November 18th to see state-of-the-art labs, meet passionate professors, and learn why a technologically focused education turns curiosity into magic. Sign up for Visit Day Saturday, November 18th at ltu.edu.
Welcome, State Champs Women. Is it your dream to play your favorite sport in college? State Champs Women is dedicated to providing females the equal coverage they deserve while bringing awareness to the gaps in the recruiting process for women. We want you to build a recruiting profile with us. In 3 easy steps, you can be on your way to finding your dream school and lifelong teammates and friends. Connecting futures, unlocking potential. We are State Champs Women.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry
Howie's! At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Lieboy, Bogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
What's up, Michigan? Welcome back. It's another update in the State Champs, Hungry Howie's Mr. Football race. And let me tell you, this is really, really getting good. We have got an incredible pool of talent that is still left alive. No shade to the guys who are no longer, active players in this season's postseason, and who knows, you may be able to still find your way into the Final Four, but we have a unbelievable group of guys that are still playing. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read off real quick who we have still left, still active, still playing this weekend in regional football. And Sean Belizian, then you can comment on that. You like that?
That sounds great. Let's go.
All right, let's go. So number one, of course, Bryce Underwood for Belleville. Huge win over Saline, 65-14. He's a junior quarterback, so this is a guy we're going to see next year as well. Could try to be the next Dante Moore, who won as a junior. He's got 2,846 yards, 36 TDs, 2 picks. Drake Irwin in Rockford. Rockford, our number 2 team in the state, playing unbelievably well. Big win over Granville. They're undefeated. He's got nearly 2,000 yards, 24 touchdowns. Nick Marsh, the wide receiver at River Rouge. Huge win for them this weekend over Riverview. And just the fact that now they're going to face King, which is really where the rubber meets the road. Big matchup. Both teams scored 49 points, by the way. So huge game for them. He's got 18 TDs, 16 receiving. A.J. Martell from Mason, the running back. Second time they're going to get an opportunity to go up against Wald Lake Western. Wald Lake Western was defeated soundly by Mason a few weeks back, but Wald Lake Western has all the momentum behind them, and being at home to see if they can do that. You can watch that on State Champs Game Time Live on Friday night. That is our game of the week, so make sure you check that out. But A.J. Martell been getting it done, 22 touchdowns, over 1,600 yards. All right, and then you got to look at Isaiah Zeke Marshall, Southfield A&T. What a season they're having. Big win over Detroit Cass Tech. They are 10-1 on the season, and this could be the best team they've had in a long time, maybe ever. We'll see how far they can go. He's, of course, the senior quarterback, over 2,350 yards passing, over 1,000 yards rushing. He's got 42 total touchdowns, 30 throwing, 13 on the ground, and this is their best shot at getting to Ford Field. And then we have Caleb Osborne from Waterford Mott, the quarterback who has just been a wrecking ball.
Let Caleb cook.
A one-man machine. Big win over Seaholm. Seaholm, a team that was really surging after beating Groves for a couple of weeks. 34-21 win. They're 9-2 on the year. Almost 3,000 yards. 33 touchdowns. He only has 2 interceptions this whole season. 1,843 yards on the ground, 24 touchdowns on the ground. So you add that together, that's well over 50 touchdowns just this season alone, and they're not done. And then there's Des Stevens, the guy who really does everything for Clarkston, was instrumental in their comeback win in the entire game. Huge upset over Lake Orion, the biggest upset of the weekend. They're just 6-5 on the season, but he's a big reason why they are still playing football. 16 touchdowns, 8 rushing, 6 receiving, 1 pass, 1 kickoff return, and he's got 6 interceptions on the defensive side.
Let's start there, because we said this at the beginning of the playoff. I think a lot of people were saying, what's wrong with Clarkston, especially early on. Remember they lost to Northville. Well, as we found out, Northville's a pretty darn good team. And you know what's wrong with Clarkston? They're Clarkston. I mean, that's what they do. They find a way to get it going, and certainly that's what they've seen. I want to start back at the beginning of the year as well, because I think when this year began, Lauren, clearly there was a favorite, and I don't think he's done much to dissuade it. But hold everything, you know? Lauren, we talk about it year in, year out. You keep winning, another team loses, you're going to catapult yourself up. That's just the way it is. And you made such a great point. To the guys that already aren't playing, thanks for everything, tip of the cap. But to the fans out there, you guys can still be a part of this. This is where you need to log on right now and go vote for your guy. Our voting ends. Now, hear me out. Monday, November 20th at noon. There is still an opportunity for you to make your voice heard. And no matter what happened, if your guy's already sitting on the sideline or if your guy's still playing this weekend, you have an opportunity to catapult them into the Final Four. They are in the conversation regardless. But Lauren, you could make a case for each one of these guys. And again, I think this goes to show you the level of play in this state. Highly recruited athlete means something. You know, when you're talking about guys that are getting looks from everywhere, and oh yeah, those guys playing for other schools, they can stake a claim to this award as well. So again, I urge you, go out, make your voice count. There's a lot of room that needs to be made up. We've got a clubhouse leader right now in regards to the online vote. But if you mount up, you can make your voice heard until Monday, November 20th at noon.
Absolutely. And big props to Corsair Country for doing what you're doing for Caleb Osborne. He is leading the vote significantly. It's going to take a lion's share of vote to move him out of that position, but he has already put himself in the position of being in the Final Four. Should this carry out the next few weeks, he will automatically be there and have a 20% advantage over everybody else to win. Now, we'll see if they can get through regionals. I feel strongly that they can, but who knows? The Downriver Demons, Gibraltar Carlson, could take that away from them. So, again, voting is important. We do look at it when we sit and evaluate everyone when it comes to the Final Four and then when it comes to the eventual champion. So, do yourself a favor. Get out there and vote. It's going to be a great weekend of football.
Love it. A great weekend, great finish. It always is. So many high caliber guys. Vote, vote, vote. Our online voting ends Monday, November 20th at noon. Make your voice heard. And then we have our conversation, which is always a blast. And Lauren, I'll say it again. When you go by your criteria, when you go by the letter of the law, so to speak, for your individual award, you're never going to be wrong. Because, look, this is what we followed. This is exactly what we followed. So we feel good about that. There isn't one time where I think we look back and go, man, we probably should have done that. If you follow the letter of the law, you're going to feel
That's right. Go to statechampsnetwork.com, click on the contest page, click on the Mr. Football contest page. You see the criteria laid out for you. You can look at view results, see what the voting tallies are now. You could see the entire top 10 because, again, we're not ruling that any of them will not make the Final Four. So a lot to still get figured out, and that's what makes it fun. We'll see you next week.
Last week at John Glenn High School, Honest Game hosted a student-athlete information night. They covered recruiting, scholarships, and so much more. State Champs was there covering the event. Let's take a look.
How can we position our student-athletes to be better? How can we position them to go to college and have that opportunity? Today, you will get a lot of great information. John Glenn now and Wayne Memorial now have a partnership with Honest Game. And Honest Game is going to change the game for us.
Our role, Honest Game, in the district right now is to provide support around academic eligibility as it relates to the college athletic pathways for all student athletes. So it's exciting to be able to educate the families and students of the district, and also so excited that we're joined by compliance and athletic directors at the college level and coaches that can sort of share the importance and share their insight as well.
You can see there on the screen, it is important because it involves, are you eligible? Can you be rostered? Can you accept a scholarship? Can you compete And obviously at the collegiate level and in some high school states, can you accept NIL money? So understanding why it's important.
I'm Nick Smith, Director of Compliance at Eastern Michigan University. I've been here since June of 22. Whether you're trying to get to campus or whether you're a student athlete, at the college level, academics is always the forefront, and it's something that our office in compliance works with academics hand in hand, making sure that not only if you're eligible to come to the university or be in college, but maintain your eligibility.
I think this event is very important because the recruiting process is very drawn out, a lot of details, especially with the eligibility clearinghouse. Honest Game with the presentation kind of spells it out for you. And for these parents and to learn a lot about the process and to ask Division I compliance person, myself, there's always a lot of recruiting questions, and just to have an event like this to be able to clear some of that up is really important.
Keeping an open mind, making sure that you're doing your own research at the school, research on the coaches that are recruiting you, and the biggest thing, there's so many opportunities besides Division I or Division II. There's obviously tons of different levels, and making sure you're keeping all your options open.
One thing I would share is cast the widest net possible. It is really hard not to get stuck in a Division I mentality, but what you need to make sure you're doing is open up that pathway to all 5 opportunities, Division I, Division II, Division III, NAI, and junior college, and really just be open to what is your best fit. Where are you going to shine as an athlete? Where are you going to shine as a student? And what does that look like? Sometimes you just have to kind of go through it, and everything is not always what it seems.
My biggest thing is just keep your options open. Like I said, my biggest recruiting spiel I used to give was, yes, I played Division I lacrosse, but at the same time, what does it matter if you're going to get a great education, play a sport you love? At the end of the day, you can play anywhere. There's a spot for everyone.
What's up, Michigan? Welcome back inside the State Champs Sports Network studio. Another update in the Anvil Award race, which is heating up. There are some guys who are no longer playing, so still in our top 10, still have an opportunity to do well, but there are several guys who are still continuing their quest for a state championship, and in turn, maybe a quest to hoist the Anvil hardware at the end of the season. My name is Lauren Plant. This, of course, is the coach, Tim Beckler. This segment sponsored by Hungry Howie's 50 years of flavor. And I'll tell you what a talented group that we still have left. 5 guys still playing football. Big games this weekend. We're going to talk about each guy quickly and individually because Tim hasn't given some updated takes on some of these guys since we talked about them maybe a lot earlier in the season. Let's start off with the guys who are left. Let's start with the West Bloomfield defensive end, 6'4", 250 pounds, Brandon Davis Swain. Maybe the favorite in this category. I'm going out on a limb by saying that, but we got a lot of work to do before we determine who's going to be what. But nearly 80 tackles, 16 sacks, 24 hurries. Lakers are 9-2 and still alive.
Dominant player, and he's a two-way player, and I love those kids. They're just so talented. They can play on both sides of the ball, play multiple positions on offense and defense.
He's playing running back.
The kid's just good.
Yeah.
I mean, 16 sacks in 11 games. I mean, you think about that number, it's huge.
And their level of competition.
This guy is a problem. If you're going to block this guy, you've got to have some answers for him. Just a dominant football player.
All right, and I said favorite in the beginning because I like to get people hot and excited about this competition because Jeremiah Beasley, we all know, the 6'1", 210 senior linebacker at Belleville, most likely is going to be that guy too, is going to be right there at the end of it. Over 100 tackles. Belleville's undefeated, number 1 in the state, and Beasley is B-E-A-S-T, beast.
He is. And you talk about another great football player.
Yes.
great running back. He doesn't get a lot of enough props, I don't think, for being a workhorse. He plays a lot bigger than 215 too. The guy brings a wallop when he hits you. When he runs the ball, he can run by you, he runs through you. And that linebacker, obviously, he'll lay the smack down on you, and he's a sideline to sideline player. Awesome. Those two guys are really good.
I know. They really are. Actually, all these guys are really, really good. So I'm just throwing stuff out to get people fired up. But Gaylord's linebacker, 6'3", 225 pounds, Brady Pretzloff. He's got 112 tackles. Actually, the most tackles, I believe, of this current group that's still going. And again, the Blue Devils also undefeated.
They're having a fantastic year. I think they're in uncharted waters for them, 11-0. He also plays a little bit on offense, a little bit at wide receivers. That just tells you what an athlete he is. He can run by you. He high points the ball, makes plays, and Moss's guys. And then he's all over the field. I mean, he's usually one of the bigger, faster guys on the field, so it'll be interesting to see him in the next week when, like you said, we're playing better competition and bigger games.
It's going to play big for him, too, for a team that maybe is a little bit in uncharted waters. If they advance fully and he is one of those key players, which he is, that may vote well for him as we get into our discussions, as we get into our Final Four discussion, which will be coming up in just a few weeks. All right, Carter Harriman out of Davison, 6'2", 210 pounds, senior, lot of linebackers in this group that are still available. Cardinals are undefeated. Davison, always one of the most dominant defenses in the state. Carter leading the way, 108 tackles.
Yeah, you know what I like about him, and I said this weeks ago when we first got the opportunity to talk about him, he is one of the best kids I've seen in years about block destruction. He attacks blockers, and if you're going to go block him, you better buckle up because he snaps heads and he gets rid of you and he gets to the football. He's a great linebacker.
Absolutely, and Davison, again, another team with high expectations for the rest of this year. One guy I don't have numbers on, but again, you'll be able to watch him in action on State Champs Game Time Live this Friday night as Wald Lake Western takes on Mason. Big matchup, and it is Liam Vaughn, junior offensive lineman, another guy who goes both ways and has been kind of a little bit later, came into our competition a little bit later, but proved his way, played his way into the top 10.
Yeah, the film doesn't lie. Right. The guy just flat out knocks people down, and he's mean and nasty. He doesn't want to just block you. He wants to take your soul. And at defensive line, you can't double team him. He's a problem on defense too. I mean, this guy could be the MVP of their team. You know, he's that good.
Right, exactly. And if they can get over Mason, which would be a big upset for him and for that team, that's a lot of momentum. And again, another factor, I think, when it comes into big game performances. And so we'll be getting closer. We're going to be getting towards our Final Four coming up. That will be after the state semifinals that we will announce our Final Four. So that's just coming up next week. Big weekend this weekend, you guys. Watch all of these guys and be sure to comment. Let us know what you think about who should be in the Final Four when it comes to the Anvil Award. Because again, we've got 5 left. Only 4 can get in. All these teams could win. So we'll see how it plays out. Join us next week. State Champs Nation, there has never been a more exciting time to consider Lawrence Technological University. Just minutes away from 2 of Southeast Michigan's most popular entertainment destinations in Royal Oak and downtown Detroit. With 5 colleges to choose from, every admitted student is automatically reviewed for scholarships, ranging from $4,500 to $16,000 per year. LTU also offers over 24 Division II level varsity NAIA sports, and unlike NCAA Division III schools, full athletic scholarships. Come to Lawrence Tech's Visit Day on Saturday, November 18th to see state-of-the-art labs, meet passionate professors, and learn why a technologically focused education turns curiosity into magic. Sign up for Visit Day Saturday, November 18th at ltu.edu.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry Howie's.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Bogan, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common: officials. Every game, every meet, every match. Without officials, there'd be no touchdowns, no three-pointers, no face-offs. Without officials, there'd be no games. Officiating is a great way to give back to your community and stay involved with the sports you love. And officials are needed now more than ever, because without officials, it's just practice.
Heck of a first half between Mason and Wald Lake Western, and expecting similar things in the second half. Mason with the lead, and they're about to get the ball to start the second half. Evan Stockton, Grant Perry, back with you inside the booth. Liz Kuhn actually working hard and braving the elements down on the sidelines alongside the rest of our great crew. Appreciate all of them being with us tonight. Spearheaded, of course, by our fearless leader, John Kidd, who wanted to make sure he got a shout-out. Congratulations, John. You got one of the first 40 seconds of us being back on the air. In all seriousness, this is actually our last broadcast of 11-player football in Michigan here in high school. State Champs will have the coverage of the 8-player finals up north next week. And unfortunately, for any of you watching and listening, you're not quite getting rid of Grant and I yet. We're going to do a couple of the state finals coming up here Thanksgiving weekend in a couple of weeks. But before we start the second half, hopefully on behalf of you, Grant, Liz down on the sidelines, and everyone who's been working with us all year long, Lexi, Kara have joined us on the sidelines as well. It's been a lot of fun for us to cover these broadcasts all year. Hope you've enjoyed the Game Time Live coverage provided by State Champs all fall, from the early summer into the fall long. It's been a treat for us to cover all these great teams and communities and players and coaches. And we are wrapping up our coverage with a fun night of football here at Wald Lake Western High School tonight. Wald Lake Western kicking off from the 25-yard line, which means that Mason should have excellent starting field position out of this. Kirk's got a great leg. We're about to see how far he can kick it. Season's on the line. Off we go in the second half. Badgley Field's near the 35. Spins across the 40. And then he's sumoed down there by a couple of Wald Lake Western kick coverage unit players. Down to the field, let's check in with Liz.
I asked Coach Soroch what was the message in the locker room, and he said to figure it out. He said we have 24 minutes to do it. We need to get out there and get it done. Evan?
Pretty simple, Liz. Thank you very much. Grant, what'd you take away from the first half on both sides?
I think Wald Lake Western got out to a hot start. That first drive, they had really set the tone. Then Mason's defense kicked it in. They came out hard, forced 2 punts, and then that kind of gave life to their offense. I think Mason had the better half offensively, but Wald Lake Western at the end, there were about 20 seconds left, got a touchdown that they much needed, which made this a very close game here. So it's going to be an interesting second half. I think it's going to come down to who has the ball last type situation.
Give to the motioning Martell. AJ trying to find room on the right side, and he finds nothing. Hit hard near the sidelines. Lucas Price with the hit. Lucas kind of looked around and made sure that Martell wasn't out of bounds when he hit him.
Good awareness there, understanding that, well, hey, make sure I didn't hit him out of bounds. He didn't. Clean hit there, adding to his tackle for loss. He's the leader in tackle for loss on this defense right now. That's his 9th. Having a really good day so far. I mean, just totally cut that off. I mean, it looks like A.J. Martell has the edge, but Lucas Price just flies in there with some great speed, takes a great angle, and makes this a 2nd down and 13 for this Mason offense.
Other motion, they fake to Reese. Carswell loads it up and throws low to the sidelines, incomplete. Looked like Baker slipped out of his break. And here's a third down and really long.
Yeah, coming out the second half here, Mason wanted to get a good drive going here, but right now they're kind of stalling a little bit. Lost some yards on that first play, and then that second play, like you said, Tyler Baker fell out of his route, a little bit of a curl route, a timing route. So if he falls out of that route, that quarterback's ball is already on him, and then it's just too late there. Great coverage there by Aiden Branoff being there, getting a hand in on that. And right now, Mason, they have the ability to convert here. They have a good passing offense and a good quarterback that's playing really well. And if this is a Wald Lake perspective, you got to get off the field here. This is an opportunity to get the ball back and change the narrative.
Third down long. Carswell given time. Floats it down the field. It's behind Baker, who had a step on Anderson.
Yeah, and Baker, he's got that knee brace on that kind of gives him a little bit of a gimp, but he runs fast, man. He's running by these DBs. He had a step there on Jakari Anderson, the cornerback that also plays receiver for this Wald Lake team. The ball was placed on the outside shoulder of Tyler Baker. Tyler Baker tries to get his head around, but it's just a tad late there. Really good defense here by Wald Lake coming out of half. Coach said, we just got to figure it out. They figured it out on that drive right there. And if you're Wald Lake Western, you got to get the run game going here again and get in the end zone and take this lead back.
Baker to punt it for Mason. First time he's punted tonight. Driving the Wald Lake Western returner back, and they elect to let this thing roll. That thing will keep on rolling, and Mason will down it just inside the 20-yard line as Troy Temple let it roll. The man back deep for Wald Lake Western. All right, their offense back on the field, Grant. They ended that first half with a flourish, marched right down the field and scored. Lippert threw a touchdown to Gavin Noonan on third down to cap off that drive. And now we see what this first drive brings for him to start the second half.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see this, kind of the same formula, right? We're going to get motions here by Donovan Triplett trying to get that defense to flow, and they're going to try to run that ball in between the tackles like they usually do.
There's Triplett, and he is swallowed. Maybe a yard. Connor Osipsik, the first man making contact.
Connor Osipsik has come on this year. Didn't play much as a junior. Doing really well this year. Has really grown in the aggressive category. Has gotten physical at the point of attack. Playing really well for this defense. Played some D-end as well versus DeWitt. He'll play some tackle on that defensive side. A player that really can get in that backfield and cause some trouble there. And Mason's doing a really good job of playing lateral here. When that ball is trying to get on the edge, they're sticking in their gap and they're playing side to side. Linebackers are staying home, not letting that penetration get up the middle. Mason's kind of figured it out here on defense. Let's see if they can continue to give this run game some trouble.
Lippert fakes the throw and runs left with room. Jackson Lippert, look at this! He hits the turbo, and Jackson Lippert is tackled inside the 10. Martell tracked him down, but Jackson Lippert looked like a lightning bolt running down that left side.
He exploded here, and this is going to be a quarterback design draw. You look at like it's going to be a pass, and he just takes off. The blockers are on the second and third level, and they do the rest of the work, and then Lippert just gets to the sideline and uses that speed. Like you said, Evan, Coach said he's an athlete playing quarterback, and you can see right there. Really good tackle there by A.J. Martell of not giving up on the play, getting that tackle before it's a touchdown. He had a similar one of those versus DeWitt where he saved a 55-yard touchdown run by the quarterback in that game. Really good play by Martell, but an even better run there by Lippert, getting those guys in that team in that red zone here ready to try to put this one in.
Wald Lake Western trying to take the lead back for the first time since the first quarter. Lippert under center. Giving to the back. Who is in for a touchdown? Gavin Noonan is in, his 28th rushing touchdown of the season.
And I wish you could see Coach Saroch here for the Wald Lake Western sideline. He is fired up. He is a big component of the run game. He says the run game is our DNA, and we're going to do it until it doesn't work. And right now it is working. They run a counter play there from the 5-yard line. Linebackers get blocked, and then Gavin Noonan does what he does best and finds that end zone. Really good score. And, 3 plays there. That's a fantastic way to come out here and make a statement in the second half.
How about it? Wald Lake Western with the next counter punch. And they lead Mason early on in the third quarter. Alta Equipment knows when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alta Equipment partners with the biggest names in construction with industry-leading service and support. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Wald Lake Western and Mason are playing for the second time this season. They played back in the middle of October on the 13th. One of those games where the final score doesn't really indicate how close the game was. Mason won that game 30-7. But the Wald Lake Western coaching staff told us this week until they were blue in the face, we're going to play a lot better this week. That first time we played Mason, basically every mistake we can make, we made. They weren't lying to us, Grant. We got a ball game.
Yep, and like you said, I mean, they had some mistakes last game that really set up Mason really well. They had a blocked field goal and then a blocked punt. That resulted in a safety, and then just really helped that Mason offense set themselves up for some points there. And then that Wald Lake offense couldn't retaliate accordingly. But here right now, Wald Lake has taken the step forward. They're saying, hey, we're going to fix our mistakes. We're going to come out. We're going to run the ball how we want to run the ball. And right now, they're in the driver's seat looking really good.
Max Kirk sends the kickoff into the middle of the end zone. And once again, Mason will have a long field after the kick into the end zone by Max Kirk. That first drive for Mason, Graham, was frankly their worst of the night. 3 and out real quick. Any adjustments you're making on this drive?
Maybe north and south. I mean, they like to get Martell from that slot to, getting that jet sweep action. I like to see them, try to work in between the tackles here. I know Wald Lake Western's got a really good defensive line here, but try to get north and south here, and some quarterback run as well. It worked earlier. Kason Carswell had a nice run for a touchdown, also a receiving touchdown. So try to incorporate him a little bit as well, kind of mix it up, make the defense have to cover everybody on that offense.
There you go. There's a north-south run from Martell to start it, but just not a lot of room. Man, Liam Vaughn, Pasha Goffey, 72 and 73 in the middle of that D-line. They are space eaters.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're big boys. Liam Vaughn, 6'2", 295, two-way starter for this team. Chase Schwarking, 6'6", 210 pounds. I mean, they got some height, they got some size. They know how to fill gaps there, which allows those linebackers to play freely, not get blocked by those linemen, and then it allows those safeties to play downhill and fast. And that's why Nick Thompson was in on that tackle there.
Play action fake for Carswell. This is Logan Dorr, who's tackled beautifully in the open field. Look at the reaction from Lucas Price. He's been all over the field tonight.
Yeah, he's fired up, and he's running sideline to sideline here. Good job of reacting to the play. It's a tight end slide, fullback slide. Looks like it's a runaway, but Lucas Price stays home, knows his responsibility. He's that outside linebacker. He's responsible for that flat curl area, and when he sees that quarterback keep it, he gets back to his alignment, makes a good tackle in space, which could have been a big first down play there. Really good job by Lucas Price, who's really stepping up here in the second half to start.
Mason offensively cannot get out of their own way to start the second half. They're facing another third down and long.
Keep an eye on the bottom of the screen here, number 4, big target.
They roll Carswell away from that big target. Parrish, and it's incomplete. Reese is saying, come on, I was in bounds, but the official says, no, Cole, you were out of bounds. And I think Mason's got a punt again.
Seems that way. They roll to the right. Some of the bad things that can happen with those roll passes is you run out of real estate. The quarterback has nowhere to run. He's kind of running out of area to throw, and then the receivers just get pinned to the sideline. In that situation, you'd like to see Cole Reese try to keep a little bit of space for that quarterback to place that ball on the sideline. In that situation, he just ran out a little bit of room. And right now, they're falling into this Wald Lake Western's home crowd, this trap, the run game. I mean, it's all working in favor of Wald Lake Western right now. If they can get this run game going even more, they get an opportunity to really take control of this game.
Baker sends another punt high into the November night sky. This isn't a very good punt. It goes out of bounds right around midfield, and Wald Lake Western will have excellent starting field position. There is a strong football tradition here at Wald Lake Western. Won the state title back in 1999, taking on Ike, Utica Eisenhower at the Silverdome. They won 19-7. Yes, Wald Lake Western going with red unis. But wait, there's more. You're going to have to see the hair that Wald Lake Western was rocking that year as they won the state title over Ike. See that in the background? That is beach blonde hair. Apparently that was the thing. In sync, that's what they were doing back in the day, man.
Whatever helps you win, right?
Not all of us can look like Justin Timberlake, but, we're trying up here. Lippert gives, Noonan runs with space. Wald Lake Western is creating crevices all over the field on the ground. It's another awesome run for Gavin Noonan.
Yeah, really good run here. Boundary run. They're just going to do a little bit of a power run with Donovan Triplett. Fantastic job there of Trey Dobek of just sealing that edge, giving him a room to run. It just fell off the table. Falling off the table is when there's no contain to that side. And when you give a guy like Donovan Triplett speed and space, bad things happen. Really good play there. And it looks like Wald Lake Western's kind of finding a rhythm here. They're picking up big yards, kind of how they were on that first drive to start the game. So if they keep that going, they're in a really good place.
Just a yard to go to get the first down. Lippert off play action. They slipped a man down the field. Wide open. Wald Lake Western Warrior. Is he in? No. Ryan Boyce is down at the 1. They are knocking on the door again. What a dream start to the second half. Grant, they slip Boyce down the field. There is a flag, though. Back around the 37-yard line. That's a good call by the officials. Boyce was down short of the goal line. And they have taken the penalty off the books. Wave off the penalty, and that play can stand for Wald Lake Western.
And that was a fantastic play design. That's a power read type of play. They pull the backside guard, and it makes it look like it's going to be a power run, which is their formula, their DNA. And then they slip Ryan Boyce right past the safety, and he almost got in for his third touchdown of the year. Ryan Boyce blocks his tail off, what Coach said. Would love to see him get in there and earn that as he blocks so hard for this running game, and it looks like they might have punched this one in.
Jackson Lippert, touchdown. His second on the ground tonight. And Wald Lake Western has the state on upset alert.
And you don't want to let this snowball get bigger and bigger here. The crowds get into it. The run game is just effective. Their play action game is now awake. They're catching Mason sleeping here on defense. It's all working in their favor. And the last thing you want to do is give a power running game, more fuel, because they'll run that clock down, they'll run that ball, and they'll just start breaking the back of the Mason defense. So the Mason offense has got to come in here, help out the defense, stay on the field, and put some points back up on this board.
This game feels like a basketball game. It was 7-0 Wald Lake Western, then Mason rips off 17 in a row, then Wald Lake Western rips off 21 in a row. It's a game of runs. Wald Lake Western's got their largest lead of the night.
They're doing a good job. It's kind of a flip switch, if you will. That first half, Wald Lake went double punt back to back, and Mason ended up scoring on those punts. Right now, Wald Lake's flipped the script. They've forced 2 punts out of Mason, and they've converted and capitalized off those punts with 2 scores of them their own there. Doing a fantastic job. Whatever Coach Roach said here at halftime, the boys have bought in, and they're ready to go on here and try to fight for this win.
Wald Lake Western, 6 trips to the regional final since 2010. 14 straight winning seasons. 8 regional titles all time, but they haven't been in this game since 2019. And they look every bit the part of a team that can be playing on Thanksgiving weekend. Kicks away. Martell seeds to Reese, who gives it to A.J. Martell anyway. And he doesn't even make the 20. What brilliant work by the Wald Lake Western special teams unit.
Fantastic job of seeing that kind of develop there. They run that reverse kickoff return where they pitch it to the off man, and it's a little bit too deep in their area. The defenders that are running down in their lanes just can see that right away. They keep contained and keeping them inside their own 20. So really good job by that kickoff team. And the momentum is definitely here in Wald Lake's hands. Mason's got to come here and get a good drive going, get some fluid motion here, and try to help out this defense and keep them and give them a little bit of a breather here.
Carswell motions Martell, fakes it to him, and throws to Baker. Running a tunnel screen, and they get what they can up to the 20-yard line. So here we go, right? Mason's in the middle of a dream season. A dream last 3 years. They've made the semis the last 2 years. Now this year, they're 11-0. They're beating teams by 20-plus points left and right. Now they face a challenge. A lot of time to go, but their season is now hanging in the balance.
Yeah, it is. And it's going to be hanging in the balance of Kason Carswell and A.J. Martell and these receivers. These guys are going to have to kind of find a way here to wake it up a little bit. The run game isn't going to be necessarily the option that they have to go with. I mean, they're going to be able to get some runs in here and there, but they're going to have to wake up the passing game and try to get some explosive plays to help minimize how much time they're using, but also try to get back on this board quickly in an efficient way.
Snap to Carswell. Kaysen looking downfield. Martell on the wheel route. You wondered when A.J. Martell would make his presence felt. That's a big gain.
Big gain, and they just wheel him out of the backfield. Really good job here. It looks like it's going to be a throw to the front side. There's 3 receivers over there, and they just leave A.J. Martell running down the sideline. They got him matched up on a linebacker, and that's a matchup you want. You want your speedy, shifty running back on one of those bigger, stronger linebackers. But Troy Temple comes over with a really big hit there to save an even bigger conversion. But good play there by the Mason offense.
Carswell running all the way right. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Wald Lake Western set the edge really well there.
Yep. Ethan Baskin did a fantastic job. He's coming into this game with 6 TFLs, 44 tackles on the season. He also plays O-line, so he's in the sense there that Lippett is an athlete playing quarterback. Baskin is a linebacker playing O-line, so he does a fantastic job. He does a good job moving sideline to sideline. Way to stay home there on that quarterback read.
Second down, Carswell throwing, taking a shot, incomplete. Hoping for Reese. Anderson and Price had the coverage. And Mason again, 3rd down and long. They've been living in this in the second half.
Yeah, and that's a throw. That's one of the throws I would like to see Kaysen Carswell kind of eat right there. It looks like it's a man coverage. Look, they're running a corner route on the safety, but it ends up being a zone coverage. That cornerback, Jakari Anderson, falls off on his route, ran a slant route, falls off, drops back. It could have been an interception right there. Safe that it wasn't. But I'd like to see Carson here step up and make the right read and find one of his targets. Look for Tyler Baker to get involved here. He's a big-time target, finds his way to get open, makes plays when they need it.
Carswell on 3rd down, running a draw, got a ways to go. Kaysen is close. They have given him the 1st down, and the Mason drive is alive.
And good job. I mean, they fool everybody here. It looks like it's probably going to be a pass, but they drop back into some quarterback draw here, and he just does a fantastic job of maneuvering these defenders. Doesn't have the huge breakaway speed that Jackson Lippert does on the other side of the ball, but he finds a way to get the hard yards that count. Good cuts backs. Does a good job there picking up the 1st down when they need it most.
Fake to Martell, quick throw to Reese. Not much at all. Once again, Ethan Baskin sticking his nose in there.
Yeah, Ethan Baskin, I mean, he's playing sideline to sideline, covering passes, covering runs. Really good job there. And Cole Reese catches that hitch, kind of turns his hips and looks to try to get a two-way direction there. As a receiver, you usually want to catch that thing, turn on the shoulder that he put it on, and then just get as much yards as you can there and not trace your steps backwards. You want to go forwards on that one. It's a completion, but for only a short gain there.
This is the largest deficit that Mason has faced all season. Give to Martell. AJ's got room. AJ Martell lowers the shoulder, does a somersault, and gets inside the 25.
And they're just going to run the counter here, back to the field. Really good job here by the O-line kicking out, getting inside that tackle. And then when you get A.J. Martell in space, man, good things happen. Good job here by the secondary defenders, Aiden Branoff and the other cornerback over there making a good tackle because that could have been a touchdown if he had a little bit more space.
Carswell given time. Throwing into double coverage, incomplete. Dominic Thompson, one of the men covering Reese.
Dominic Thompson is a true defender for them. He plays that strong safety, guy that they really count on back there. Has a defensive touchdown this year, along with 4 other players on this Wald Lake defense. And you can kind of see Kaysen Carswell. He understands that the situation that they need points. They don't need points off of forced throws though. Here he's kind of making a couple forced throws into double coverage here that could have costed him a possession. I'd like to see him kind of go through his reads, and if it's not there, eat it and run. He picks up good yards with his feet.
Wants to throw again. That's a fastball down the middle. He fitted right in there to Parrish, who's refusing to go down. Caleb Parrish just dragged 3 Wald Lake Western defenders near the 5.
And really good job. Caleb Parrish is a guy that really stood out in that first game. Week 8 had 2 touchdown receptions versus this Wald Lake defense, and he comes back here, had 2 drop passes in that first half that kind of set him back. But Kason Carswell comes back to him, throws a dime, and good job there by Caleb.
And A.J. Martell is in. If you thought Mason was going anywhere, think again. The Bulldogs are back in business.
You can tell this team has faced a lot of adversity. I mean, they understand the situation. They've been in big games, and they just do a fantastic job of driving down this field. They went 2 straight punts the past 2 possessions, but they make some big plays here, get their playmakers in space, make some big-time catches. The team's helping each other. Players are making big plays and stepping up for each other, and then A.J. Martell does the rest of the work there, gets it in, and that's a score when they needed it most. Let the defense breathe, but get you some points back on the board.
Blocked. They tried the extra point instead of going for 2, and the PAT is blocked. Winner's on the kick. And let's see where this ends up. I got blocked by one of the big uglies right in the middle of that D-line for Wald Lake Western. And the score remains 28-23. Lawrence Technological University, located in gorgeous Southfield, Michigan, and among the largest college of architecture and design in the nation. They have visit days coming up on the 18th and December 9th. Go learn more at visitltu.edu. Great response for Mason. I know the extra point got blocked, but still, that's a heck of a drive. Down by 11 points for the first time all season. Now you wonder what Wald Lake Western can do offensively. They've touched it twice so far in this half and scored both times.
Yep, and you got to imagine that the defense for Mason is feeling a little bit better. They got back into this game, made it a 5-point game. They're within 1 score here, and this Mason defense, they got to come alive here. I mean, this second half, Wald Lake Western's kind of done what they wanted, and the offense just helped the defense there for Mason. You'd like to see the defense here come back, get the ball back for this offense. And if you're Wald Lake Western, I mean, you stick with what Coach Roach does best, and you just run the ball to the best of your ability. Get that big old line moving, win the line of scrimmage, and try to make this thing, a clock game with your team up right now.
Baker to kick it. Wald Lake Western will have a chance for a return. It starts at the 12, and then it stops at the 25. Parrish made the tackle as Anderson had the return. Mason was up 17-14 at halftime. Then Wald Lake Western scored twice, took a lead, 28-17. Now Mason got a touchdown, missed the extra point. So we're sitting at 28-23. Jackson Lippert, your star of the night, the senior quarterback, number 17 in gray and blue, has thrown for 2 touchdowns. He's run for a touchdown. Noonan has caught 1 and run for 1. As Graham was just saying, the ground attack all night has been darn good for the home team. On cue, Lippert going to run it, and Parrish got him. Big Caleb Parrish, cast and all, dropping Lippert for a loss.
That's a really heads-up play there by Caleb Parrish. 2 gap in that. It looks like Lippert's going to get in the middle and declare across the line of scrimmage. Caleb Parrish stays home, plays it 2 gap, right, playing the C gap, but also playing playing the B gap, but also playing the C gap. Does a good job shutting the defender and making a tackle there on the speedy Lippert.
Officially a loss of 1. So Wald Lake Western staring down a 2nd and 11 here. Lippert gives. Noonan runs. Getting what he can. Up to the 28-yard line. Mason thinks the ball came out, but once again, they signaled the runner was down. This has happened 2 different times tonight.
Yeah, but you're going to see Caleb Parrish get in here again and try to rip this ball out. He's lawnmowing it. That's the technique. He's just going to try to rip it out of him like you're starting a lawnmower, old-fashioned string lawnmower, trying to get it out. Can't necessarily see where the ball's at from this angle. Got to imagine Mason wishes they had that one, though. And it looks like we got a player slow to get up. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, Dorr came out with the pile. It was tough to see down there. There's a whole lot of bodies digging at Gavin Noonan there. We'll hit a break and come on back. Feels like a classics brewing at Wald Lake Western in the regional final. It's the last thing you want to see. That guy getting helped off the field at the 30-yard line is Gavin Noonan. He's caught a touchdown. He's run for a touchdown tonight. One of the best running backs in the senior class in Michigan just had to be helped off the field. So we're about to see a lot of Donovan Triplett. It's a third down for Western. They motion out Triplett. Lippert throws at the last minute. It's incomplete. There was pressure coming from all over the place. He missed Anderson, and it's going to be fourth down as there's another Wald Lake Western Warrior slow to his feet right around the 20. I think that's number 60, Trey Doback. Who's down for Wald Lake Western. Noonan was helped off the field after a run in which 4 different Mason defenders converged on him. Looked like maybe one of his ankles was twisted in that pile as he was fighting for extra yardage, and Mason was fighting for the football, incidental contact. That is Doback coming off the field. Walking under his own power, and he kept motioning to his face, so hopefully it's just a turf pellet situation or something like that. Anyway, heck of a stop for Mason. Wald Lake Western can't get a first down, and Mason was down by 11 points. Blink your eyes, and if they can score here, they got the lead back.
Yep, defense did a fantastic job there. Caleb Parrish really leading the charge that drive, really in on every tackle, doing a good job there. Defense stepping up. Offense has just scored. Mason starting to play a little complimentary football the second half. That's a dangerous combination with a team as good as Mason is.
That's not a good punt. Off Max Kirk's foot. And Mason is going to get brilliant starting field position inside Wald Lake Western territory right around the 40. Max Kirk's a really good punter. That was a very abnormal punt.
And it's been a game of swings and counter punches, as you said, Evan. And right now it kind of feels like this pendulum is swinging back into Mason's favor. You never want to see a player go down, but when you got a player at the high caliber as Gavin Noonan, with him not on the field, it adds, it takes away a big element here. And Mason is going to try to capitalize. They came off the field on third down, and here they are already in Wald Lake Western's territory with the ball. Their last drive, they scored and went down the field for a long drive, so they're sitting right now with an opportunity to come down here and take this lead.
Fake to Martell, run for Carswell, who is swallowed behind the line of scrimmage. Couple of big guys down there converging to bring Carswell down for a loss.
Toby Lyle, number 55, in and on the tackle. Really good job by the big D lineman. Also plays some offensive line for that Wald Lake Western team. And that was a Q counter play where they're pulling two linemen there, and if that gets blown up in the backfield, it's dead to rights. That running back has no chance to get in front of the blocks, and the D line did a fantastic job of swarming to the tackle and making a tackle for loss there.
Coming up on a minute to go, third quarter. Carswell the drop. Carswell now flushed to his left. He is sacked. Lucas Price, have a night.
Lucas Price, has just been stepping his game up. When the team needs somebody to make a play, he's showing up. Running sideline to sideline. Cason Carswell trying to look to the front side. Had a guy open late, but had to get off of it because that pressure. Didn't realize Lucas Price was chasing from behind. And then his buddy Dominic Thompson comes in and helps finish up that tackle there. Really good football there played by that defense in Wald Lake. And they're playing good right now. They're forcing Mason here to really reach deep into their bag and pull out a play that they feel can get them a first down here with 3rd and about 18, 19 to go.
Carswell needs something. He finds Martell in space. Can AJ make it happen? He doesn't get the first down, but he gets a lot of yardage back. Up to the 34-yard line, and Mason in prime position to go for it.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this is right where they want to be. They're in a convertible situation there, and I think Mason might have got away with a little bit of a block in the back there on their sideline. So, that sideline isn't going to, jump up and roar to get the refs' attention there. But nonetheless, this is an opportunity for Wald Lake to make a statement. This is also an opportunity for Mason to continue their dominance here. 4th down and 4. You got to imagine that they're going to try to put this ball in one of their playmakers' hands, and whether it's a receiver or quarterback or that dynamic receiver or running back, A.J. Martell.
Big play, and Mason will expend one of their timeouts, which are so important to have with everything on the line in this regional final. One of the final plays of a 3rd quarter that has been like one of the roller coasters down the road at Cedar Point. Mason was up 17-14 at halftime. Wald Lake Western ripped off 14 in a row to start the second half. And now Mason, after a score, a stop, now has a pivotal 4th down coming up. We'll award Mr. Football in the next couple of weeks. So let's look back at some past state champs Mr. Football winners. How about Kobe White? 2016, Wald Lake Western's finest, was all over the field. He never left the field when he was a senior. Wide receiver, a little bit of quarterback, played some secondary as well. Look, when you got an athlete that good, just give him the ball and let him go figure it out. He went out to go play some college ball down the road at Michigan State, and he's currently on the practice squad for the Seattle Seahawks. Cody White, one of the finer football players we've seen in Michigan over the last decade. Tonight, this field is littered with good football players, and they're trying to make a play here on a pivotal 4th down late in the 3rd quarter. Carswell, off play action, throws a pick! This is a house call! Troy Temple, goodbye! That is a season-altering play.
What a job. I mean, Troy Temple steps up when it's needed most. They're running hitch routes versus man coverage. Troy Temple sitting down on that, ready for the throw, and beats the receiver to the throw. The receiver doesn't come back to the ball. Casey Carswell throws the ball a little late. Receiver wasn't ready for it, but Troy Temple was. That's going to be his 2nd defensive touchdown of the year, and this defense is 5th on the season at the most important time when they needed it. Really good job there on 4th down.
We do have a flag before the PAT. Legal substitution on Mason. So now Wald Lake Western has to decide what to do here. Coaching staff told us this week that Troy Temple was the key to them playing well defensively. Yes, he leads the team in tackles coming into tonight. Just had his 3rd interception of the season. A pick 6 where he got to show off the 4.5 speed and the 40-yard dash. Long way to go in this game. They've been counterpunching all night. That pick 6 for Troy Temple was a gigantic blow, and now you wonder if Mason can stagger out of that corner.
Yeah, that is a devastating blow right there. Still a lot of time left, 5 seconds left in the 3rd, whole 4th quarter to play. A lot can happen in this game. We've seen a lot of back and forth. But you try to look at how many phases of your team won the game. And right now, the defense for Wald Lake has stepped up and stolen a possession and a score. And then Mason hasn't been moving the ball as well this second half. So they got to find a way to move this rock. But right now, man, the momentum is here on the Warriors side. They're playing fantastic ball, and that is a defensive back's dream interception, and a chance to see the quarterback throw it. The receiver sitting there still thinking he's about to catch the ball for a first down, and then you just beeline for the ball, catch it, and then you're just running to the house, and you see nothing but green grass. I mean, that's got to be a great feeling for that defense and Troy Temple. And Coach wasn't lying, man. He's a vital part to this this defense here.
This third quarter has as many momentum swings and big plays and layers to the plot line as an entire season. Mason was up 17-14 at halftime. Then Wald Lake Western led 28-17. Then Mason got 6 points back. Then they've got the ball, 4th down in Wald Lake Western territory. And that guy, Troy Temple, has a game and maybe season-altering pick 6. Kirk kicks it. Reese fakes the reverse to Martell.
Got a wall.
He's got room on the right side. Are we about to have another big play? You bet we are. Cole Reese answers right back. This game is remarkable.
I mean, what a job here. They run this prior on the kickoff, and they give it to A.J. Martell. This time, they run the little Statue of Liberty, hide the ball on your hip, and Cole Reese has shown the speed here in that first half and shows it again, hits the sideline, and the wall. You could see the wall from a mile away. That was beautiful execution on the blocking on the Mason return team. I mean, fantastic job. All he had to do was beat the kicker, gives him one step and beats him to the sideline, and he's up the field. I mean, what a response. I mean, the special teams has stepped up when the offense can't. What a response there. You got to feel good if you're on the Mason sideline, getting that score right before this fourth quarter.
Winner's last extra point was blocked. This one is through. And we are off to the fourth quarter. If you are even thinking about not watching this game anymore, I do not know what to tell you. This is one of the finer football games, regardless of level you'll ever watch. Reese just took one back to the house on the kickoff. Wald Lake Western up by 5 and about to get the ball when we start the fourth quarter. Do not go anywhere.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry
Howie's. At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Lieboy, Sonnenbogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common: officials. Every game, every meet, every match. Without officials, there'd be no touchdowns, no three-pointers, no face-offs. Without officials, there'd be no games. Officiating is a great way to give back to your community and stay involved with the sports you love. And officials are needed now more than ever, because without officials, it's just practice.
Coach Siroch said that his father has been a huge part of his coaching career and of the support of this team. He hasn't been able to attend any of the games.
Unfortunately, some technical difficulties down there, but Coach Siroch proud to tell the story of his family, those watching at home throughout the season. Hello to all the members of the Siroch family watching this brilliant football game going on at Wald Lake Western High School tonight. So kick will go into the end zone for a touchback. If you're just joining us, you missed one of the wildest quarters of football you'll ever watch. Mason led 17-14 at halftime. Then Wald Lake Western scored twice, made it 28-17. Mason scores 6, 28-23. Wald Lake Western has a pick 6 on a 4th down in their own territory to make it 35-23. Then literally on the next play, Reese for Mason has a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. This game is a little bit nuts right now.
Yeah, this is nuts. I mean, fireworks everywhere. Just when you think a team's going to pull away, another facet of another team steps up. Special teams, defense. I mean, this is an all-around juggernaut battle.
And now a bad snap. Lippert couldn't fall on the ball. Parrish does. Mason will have the football inside the 5.
And just when you think this game couldn't get any crazier here, Wald Lake Western is starting to have some nightmares of that last game they played, Week 8 versus Mason. And they had a similar situation where the ball went to the punter, and he fielded it with his knee down, and it set Mason up in the goal line in a good position. And right now Mason is getting the draws right now, and they just got a really good turnover right there, and the ball went right through Lippert's hands when he usually catches. But, man, this is a game of turns and twists, and you never know which way it's going to go. And right now Mason is sitting in great position to take this lead.
They were down by 11 in the 3rd quarter. Now they're trying to take the lead back. Carswell turns, fakes, keeps. He is not in. A great fake. A.J. Martell plunged right, and luckily for Wald Lake Western, they realized that Carswell was going left.
Yeah, that was a good fake. Got us up here. Liam Vaughn hustling his tail off, making that tackle.
Carswell trying to sneak it in like Jalen Hurts, but he lost 2 yards. And now it's 3rd and goal.
Mason,
now what do you do?
And Mason, they come out and they go 1st and goal from like the 3-yard line, and they try to run the quarterback sucker play. They call it a sucker play where it looks like it's going to go one way. Quarterback hides it and just rolls free. Wald Lake Western was all over that. They were all over that quarterback sneak attempt right there. And Mason, they got to kind of just calm down a little bit. This is a game of emotion right now. I mean, back and forth. Find your best play here. I'd like to see you, and they're going Wildcat here. This is one of their goal line packages. Look for them to trust their ball carrier here. A.J. Martell putting this in.
Martell fakes and rumbles into the end zone. One of the best football players in Michigan has helped bring Mason all the way back. A.J. Martell. He has thrown for a touchdown tonight and run for 2 more. And a Mason program in the midst of a dream 3-year run. A Mason program in the middle of a dream season. 11-0 entering tonight. When they were down by 11 in that 3rd quarter, it looked like the dream was turning into a nightmare. But in this 4th quarter, they've roared right back.
Yeah, they're back in this thing. They're back in the driver's seat here, and they're kind of putting the pressure here on Wald Lake Western. And they're going to go for 2 here.
Carswell on the right side. Martell handing to one of his teammates who throws into the end zone. That pass is battled for. And it's a 2-point conversion to Parrish. Wells threw it. Parrish caught it like this game didn't have enough odd things going on.
And they're running their best version of Philly special. They have the quarterback kind of go on the edge of the tackle there, and then he was going to go in the flat, and that's where the throw is going to go. And then your last outlet throw is to your big tight end in the back of the end zone. And he's had a couple drops and a couple big catches here, Caleb Parrish has, and he comes through with that huge 2-point conversion there, making this a 3-point ball game.
This game is amazing. Mason led 17-14 at halftime. Then Wald Lake Western led 28-17. Wald Lake Western had a pick 6 with 19 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, led at 35-23. At the time, we called it a potentially season-altering play, and now look at the score.
Man, and if that's any indication how this 4th quarter is going to go, I mean, I think we're in for a treat. I think we're going to see a few more fireworks going off. It seems like Wald Lake Western is going to be down their star running back here, Gavin Noonan. He's on crutches here on the sideline. Seems to be in some pain. So we'll see how that kind of alters their run game, as he's kind of their north and south downhill carrier. And they have said that Donovan Triplett's a little bit of a smaller body. Don't want to get him in between the tackles, getting too much contact. But they're going to have to put together their best drive here as they can't afford to not score because, the points are coming from every which way.
Strap in. We're going for a ride in this fourth quarter. Baker to kick it. Anderson to return it. Running up the middle. Jakari Anderson hit the circle button, and then he was escorted to the ground by Baker at the 35-yard line. And now, unfortunately, Jakari Anderson is slow to get up. That's their best wide receiver who's down. As Grant was just talking about, Wald Lake Western already lost their star running back, Gavin Noonan, in this second half. You talk about a team having to battle through adversity. Wald Lake Western is having to battle through it here. Injuries are haunting them in this second half. Their drive starts right after this.
Welcome, State Champs Women. Is it your dream to play your favorite sport in college? State Champs Women is dedicated to providing females the equal coverage they deserve while bringing awareness to the gaps in the recruiting process for women. We want you to build a recruiting profile with us. In 3 easy steps, you can be on your way to finding your dream school and lifelong teammates and friends. Connecting futures, unlocking potential. We are State Champs Women.
Unfortunately, Jakari Anderson is still down for Wald Lake Western. He was the man on the return. He spun and was tackled around the 35-yard line, and now they're still attending to the outstanding sophomore. Good to see him get to his feet. Two-way guy, leads the team with 3 interceptions on the season coming into tonight. Shifty guy who can make things happen. Does walk off under his own power. That's good to see. All right, Grant, you were just talking about it. Wald Lake Western has lost their best running back, this outstanding senior, Gavin Noonan, injured in the third quarter. He's on the sidelines on crutches.
And another note here, looks like Ethan Baskin, the starting left guard, 3-year starter, is also sidelined right now. They got Toby Lyle in. Let's see if that affects their run blocking at all as well.
They hand to Triplett. They'll try that right side. Donovan's got a ways to go. He's going backwards, losing the football. Who's on top of it? The Mason Bulldogs are on top of it. They have recovered fumbles on back-to-back snaps for Wald Lake Western.
And this is just a little bit of the sophomore season slumps right here. You got to understand sometimes when there's nowhere to go, cutting back across the field isn't the best option. You lose control of the ball. You try to switch hands, and those senior defensive players from Mason are all over it. They try to get a hand on the ball, and they do. They pop it out, and once again, Wald Lake Western has turned it over and given Mason great field position here in the red zone.
We have talked all night about how this game feels like two boxers getting in the ring and throwing counter punches. This is a 15-round fight. We're in the 13th round right now, and Mason just landed a couple of monster shots. Wald Lake Western's going to have to pull a Rocky here and somehow stumble out of that corner, because right now Mason looks like Ivan Drago. First down at the 25. Play action for Carswell. Stepping up in the pocket and falling down. He did lose half a yard as the pressure was coming to him.
That's a good job understanding the situation there. You see the pressure coming. You know that going outside the pocket isn't the best option. You step up. You do lose a yard, but you save about 5 that you could have had lost there if it was a sack. Good job by that junior quarterback understanding that outside isn't always the best option. Stepping up in the pocket, seeing if something downfield is available. If not, take the minimal loss there and go from there.
One of the rare times in this second half where a team is content to burn a little clock. Carswell just slapped 5 with one of his offensive linemen, Gilchrist. Second down. Delay a game on Mason. That's not going to help. So turn a 2nd and 11 into 2nd and 16. Logan Dorr, the back with Carswell. They motion Martell, fake it to him. Carswell throws, it's low and incomplete. He was hoping for Badgley.
Good defense there by Troy Temple, driving on that shallow route. Derek Badgley, 6'1", 200 pounds. If he catches that, and Troy misses that tackle, that's a touchdown, unscathed, running in free. But great job of breaking up that pass there, making this down a 3rd down and 16 now.
Wald Lake Western battling through injuries, adversity, and a hot Mason offense in the last few minutes. Can their defense make a play here? 3rd down long. Carswell staring down the field, throwing to Parrish. Doesn't have the 1st down. Had to get to the 14. He got to the 16. And now it's decision time.
The coaches are talking this one over, and that's a good play call there. You swing the running back out. You get that Sam linebacker and Lucas Price to run with that. It opens up a big window in the middle of the field, and they've been hitting that dig route, that basic route, 10 yards and in all day. And Caleb Parrish has done a fantastic job of body catching these balls over the middle as he's got that cast on his hand. Finding a way to make plays here late in the game is what good teams do. Mason looks like they're going to be staying on the field here and trying to stick a dagger in Wald Lake. And this is going to be a big stand here if Wald Lake can get off the field.
Carswell in the gun with A.J. Martell. And Mason calls a timeout. That's the 2nd timeout they've used in this 2nd half. Put a pin in that. This is a curious decision because Colin Winters, the kicker, is having a great night. He made a 45-yard field goal earlier, his longest of the season. And on that kick, he punched that thing through the uprights. Could have been from 50. So it's never a sure thing you're going to make the kick, but you would assume Winters would make this kick. He spotted back to 17 yards. It's about a 34, 35-yard field goal. If you're Mason, what would you do?
I think they're going with the perspective of if we do convert this, if we can get this in the end zone after this 4th down, it's a 2-score game with then, probably under 7 minutes left. The way that the defense is playing for Mason the last few drives, you're trusting them. I mean, they're playing really well. Two back-to-back turnovers. I like the decision here. If you can convert this and then put this in the end zone, you can pretty much put a seal on this one. As Wald Lake Western has had trouble getting back in a rhythm here offensively. But if Wald Lake can get a stop here, and they got life, man.
Here we go. Carswell facing pressure, floating it into the end zone, knocked away. The same man who had the pick 6, Troy Temple, knocks it away, and Wald Lake Western is alive.
They try to go one-on-one matchup on the safety, Troy Temple, and I think I would have chose a different safety other than Troy Temple. Troy Temple's in his zone right now. He's got that pick 6 a few drives ago. Really a lockdown defender, one of the most trusted coverage guys on that Wald Lake defense. If you're Mason in those shoes, I mean, you got 3 to 4 yards there. I understand that he tried to run a little bit of a double move, a little hitch and go on the seam. I would like to see them run some crossing routes, something to get the guys open in space and let them run for the 1st down there. They took a shot and they had an opportunity to, but on the wrong guy. I mean, Troy Temple is a sound defensive player there. I understand the play call and the decision. I think I would have went with a little bit of a more secure option there. That's kind of a 50-50 ball, if you will.
Lippert gives. Triplet runs. Not a lot. Baker pushed him out of bounds after a short gain of 2.
And Lippert here right now has the opportunity to redeem himself. He had that fumble. Triplet, excuse me, had that fumble a drive ago that looked like it was going to really, almost put a coffin in this one. He's got an opportunity here to try to find a lane, try to make a big play. He's only a sophomore, but he is well above his years. I mean, the stats that he has on the season, under 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, averaging 14 yards a carry. If he can bust a big one here, instill some life into this crowd, they got a good opportunity here to make something happen.
Lippert hands to the up man. First time that Wald Lake Western has tried that play today. Got some pretty good yards out of it. Huffmeyer had a catch in the first half. Now a run here in the second half to the 25. It's going to be third down and short.
Third down and short. And they were trying to get that Avondale look. In that Avondale game, Lucas Huffmeyer had a 22-yard fullback dive for a touchdown where he was just juking and dodging defenders in the middle. I mean, they barely even saw him with the ball before he got to that second level. That situation there, those linebackers were ready for it. Tackle him for a decent gain. But you're sitting here with a third down in your own area. Be smart with the ball, but also try to get as many yards as you can here and make this, a fourth down if you have to go for it, reasonable.
Give to Triplett. They don't have to worry about going for it because Donovan Triplett's got room. The shifty and speedy sophomore dragged down shy of the 40.
Fantastic job. They're going to run power football right up the middle. And Donovan Triplett does what he does best. Makes one cut, gets north and south. And when that guy's in open space, man, you can kiss him goodbye. Really good job here, just weaving and bobbing, trying to find the leverage on the run. And like we said, I mean, one big play can really spark this offense. And it's going to have to come in the form of someone else other than Gavin Noonan, as he's been sidelined since that injury he went down with. So look for Donovan Triplett to keep this momentum going here in the run game for Wald Lake Western.
Just about 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. A fourth quarter that everyone on this field is going to remember for the rest of their lives. The question is, how do they remember it? Lippert gives to Triplett, and this time he is going nowhere. Stood up right in the hole by Caleb Vaughn.
The middle linebacker, Caleb Vaughn, stood his ground right there. 5'10", 185 pounds, snuck around Liam Vaughn. Liam Vaughn got a good block on another linebacker, but Caleb Vaughn did his job, filled the hole where it needed to be, and met Donovan Triplett right in the hole. And that's where you miss Gavin Noonan. Gavin Noonan runs downhill fast. He's a little bit more of a bruiser back, still has great speed, but, man, he falls forward on most of his runs. And Donovan Triplett's a little bit smaller in stature, makes up for it in speed, but in between the tackles, that's a big boy game. And right there, Caleb Vaughn got the best of that one.
Second down, 10. Price the back with Lippert. Jackson dropping back. Lippert given time. Uncorking it. Down the field. Incomplete. Anderson back on the field. But the pass was a little long.
And they had the right look. It's a too high safety look, and they're running a corner post on that safety. Tyler Baker. They get a good look. Jackson Lippert throws the ball out there even before the receiver's out of his corner to the post. Puts it in a great spot, just a little bit too far out. Jakari Anderson's got some wheels, man. He's got some speed. A little bit more air. He could have ran under that one as he got by Tyler Baker. But they're sitting here with a third down and long, and it looks like someone's down here for the Mason Bulldogs.
Have had some injuries on both sides of this thing in the second half. Grant was just talking about the great running back, Gavin Noonan, for Wald Lake Western, who unfortunately is injured and out. He's on crutches on the sidelines. Now we got a Mason defender down with 6:02 to go. Hungry Howie's a great partner of the State Champs Network's Mr. Football and Anvil Awards. Congratulations to Hungry Howie's on 50 years of the best flavored crust pizza. Go order your pizza at hungryhowies.com. Mason was up 17-14 at the half. They're still up by 3, but this game has just been a roller coaster in the second half. Wald Lake Western was up 28-17. Then it was 28-23. Then it was 35-23. And now Mason has ripped off 15 in a row. We've had kick return touchdowns. We've had pick sixes. We have had a little bit of everything in this remarkable second half. All right, now we got a third down and 10. Snap to Lippert. He's running a draw. Didn't get the first down. Tackled at the 37-yard line. Kind of feels like one of those plays to get a little bit closer for going forward on fourth down.
Yep. It's a two-play situation there. Wald Lake Western understood that. Didn't want to force a throw there on third down and come up with an incompletion. They go to their trusty quarterback there, Jackson Lippert, a little bit quarterback draw. They've kind of gotten away from that. They go back to it. He's got some good moves, man. He got some really good speed. As we said, he's an athlete playing quarterback. Really, another running back or receiver out there playing that position. So when he's got the ball, good things happen. Picks up some good yardage and makes this an opportunity for which they can convert.
Not quite game on the line. Wald Lake Western's got all 3 of those timeouts. Not going to have all 3 of them anymore. They'll burn one here with just about 5:11 to go. I know this is a pivotal play, but you'd like to have all those 3 timeouts down the stretch.
Absolutely, absolutely. We put a pin in it, and we'll come back to it, just like you said.
Still, though, you get the first down here on 4th and 5. That's really all that matters. Who are you thinking here? Who are you going to here? What's the game plan?
It's a game of it's hard to predict. I mean, they're doing everything that they think they would do, and then they do something different. Offenses are not scoring at some points. Defenses are scoring. It's hard to call. I'd like to think, with Gavin Noonan down, something to Donovan Triplett, whether it's him in space, throwing it, or even Jackson Lippert, again, maybe on a quarterback draw, trying to pick up another 5 yards with his legs. But regardless of who it is, it's going to be one of their playmakers. I'm going to call Jackson Lippert here for the first down.
He just ran it for 5 to make it 4th down and 5. Do they call 17's number again? Price the back with him in the gun. Lippert dropping back. Jackson looking to throw. Long throw. Far sidelines caught. Did Schwerking get the first down? They found the big 6'6" target. What a time for his first catch of the night. Move the sticks, Wald Lake Western.
Been waiting to say his name. Chase Schwerking, 6'6" receiver, tight end, big body. Almost comes back to the ball too much and loses the first down, but does a fantastic job of picking it up. Does a good job of big body catching that, and that's a lot of trust. That's built in the offseason right there. Jackson Lippert throws a high ball to the sideline on a comeback route to a 6'6" receiver, tight end, hybrid, and Chase Schwerking does a fantastic job of coming back, securing the catch. That's going to have to happen here with Gavin Noonan down. Other guys are going to have to step up. You've seen Donovan Triplett dash him in the run game. Chase Schwerking does a fantastic job of getting the ball there on the first down. Wald Lake Western's cooking here.
Lippert gives to Triplett, right up the middle. Another good burst on first down up to the 27-yard line.
If you're Wald Lake Western here, you want to try to, as they're doing, pick up 4 or 5 yards a carry, but also keep running that clock down. Do what you do best, power football. But let that clock run down. You got a senior quarterback in Jackson Lippert that can control the game, can understand, hey, I got to snap it here. A couple seconds left on that play clock. But with the way the game's been going here in the second half, you do not want to give Mason a lot of time with the ball here if they do end up scoring. Wald Lake Western, that is.
And Mason only has that 1 timeout left. Lippert to Triplett. To the 25, and they'll mark him down there. Got to get just inside the 23, so this is going to be a 3rd down and short.
That's a good play there by Grant Gilchrist. Doing a fantastic job playing through the block, getting kind of blocked to that side, but falling down, getting a leg on, arm on Donovan Triplett's leg, tackling him for a short gain. First team All-Region last year, and Grant Gilchrist. They're going to need a big play out of this D-line here to get some momentum, win their line of scrimmage battle if they want to force another 4th down here.
Old school power eye look behind Jackson Lippert. Triplett the deepest back. That's who they give it to. And he is tackled in the backfield. Parrish makes the tackle, and Wald Lake Western's got to go for it again.
I mean, who else would it be? It's Parrish. And the number one rule when you're blocking that inside zone, that power football, is you got to protect the gap inside of you. You got to step down. You got to block the guy that's most dangerous. You can let some edge pressure come around as that running back can beat him to the line of scrimmage, but you can't let him beat him inside. Caleb Parrish does a fantastic job of coming flat down the line of scrimmage, making that tackle in the backfield. And here we got a long kick.
They will try a 42-yarder to tie the game. Max Kirk hasn't made one this long all year. Good snap and hold. Kirk's kick is good! Max Kirk just made the biggest kick of his life. The soccer player masquerading as a kicker on the football team has tied it at 38 with 2:26 to go.
What a job here. I mean, everyone is stepping up and doing their part. Just when you think someone has to do their job, someone else comes and helps somebody out. Right there, the special teams unit is called upon there for a long field goal. And Max Kirk does a fantastic job of putting that thing through the uprights. Beautiful kick. And we got a tie ball game here approaching the 2-minute warning.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common, the officials, and they're needed now more than ever. Go to MHSA.com for more info, because without officials, it's only practice. What a football game. These two teams played in the middle of October, and Mason won 30-7. Tonight is completely different. 38-38, counterpunch after counterpunch. Wald Lake Western making like Rocky, coming out of the corner, another punch. And does someone have the knockout blow? Kirk just made that 42-yarder, and now he's going to kick it deep. Cole Reese on the last kick, return one for a touchdown. So they kick it short. This is Baker, and he's submarine right around the 30. Here we go. Mason offense onto the field. A.J. Martell, 26, their senior running back. Maybe the finest athlete the high school has ever had. Kason Carswell, the junior quarterback, already maybe the best quarterback they've ever had. This team, 11-0, maybe the best team the school's ever had. Everything on the line in this drive.
Yep, they have the opportunity here to etch their name in history as one of the best duos in that backfield of Mason history. Kason Carswell, in his junior campaign right now, really has the opportunity of a lifetime to go down and be a hero and lead this team to a 2-minute drive for the win.
Here's Martell looking for real estate right side. He didn't find a lot. Did navigate his way across the 30 up to the 33. Second out.
And that's a short gain. I mean, they got the ball on the 30. Short gain there by A.J. Martell. Good rally into the football by this defense. And if you're Wald Lake here, you got to be on your P's and Q's. Looks like they got the seniors in. Jackson Lippert here is in on defense. He's going to be playing some key moments here as he's playing that free safety position, strong safety there in lieu of Nick Thompson, who's moved down to the linebacker position. They're playing kind of a nickel dime look, getting their athletic guys on the field as they anticipate the pass. Carswell throwing down the field. It's caught. Derek Badgley makes the catch. First down, Mason, just shy of the 45. That's a great job of using your body to shield that DB off you here. Derek Badgley, 6'1", 205, uses that body as a shield in between the ball and the catch. Really good job of converting over the middle of the field and moving those sticks. Carswell rolling right. Now looking back left. Floating it, incomplete. Hoping for Martell, but Schwerking really had that play around the whole way. Yeah, he did, and that was a risky throw. I think I would have threw that at his feet rather than give him an opportunity. He's 6'6". I mean, who knows? Who says he can't go up and get that? I mean, that was a risky throw there. He tried to lay it over top. Maybe A.J. Martell could have ran under it. Could have been a big play if he would have succeeded with that throw, but that is a hard throw to make. Would have liked to see him just dirt that and live to see another down, but nonetheless, they're sitting in the same situation either way. Second out. Carswell throws. Martell on the catch. Room left side and out of bounds with a first down. Inside the 45 of Wald Lake Western, up to the 43. And that's a good mismatch right there. You're getting your running back on a swing route. You get your receivers running downfield. It runs off the defense, and it leaves number 51, Shane Rackner, responsible for that skilled superstar on that Mason offense, and A.J. Martell. And I'll take A.J. Martell anytime in space versus a linebacker. The speed, the athleticism, gets to the edge, picks up a first down, and with wisdom gets out of bounds. 1:21 to go. Carswell running left and directly out of bounds to his left with a gain of about 3. Grant Gilchrist here with a good block on the edge. Defensive end there was looking for a hold, but refs didn't call it there. Good job of selling inside like you're going to go inside and then bouncing outside, getting a few yards, making this a second down and shorter. And then getting out of bounds there. Looks like this Mason team is well coached as far as when the time management is important. They're getting out of bounds, but they're picking up crucial yards here as they go.
Carswell, quick throw, left side, it's caught, and the receiver pushed out of bounds. That's Badgley again, who's marked about a yard shy of the first down.
That's just a good pitch and catch. I mean, that's 7-on-7 backyard football all day. You get off coverage, you can cover 4 cornerback, responsible for his 4th of the field. You just got to throw a curl route right underneath him. Good job, good catch, making this a 3rd down and 1. The throw beats the linebacker there, Ethan Baskin, trying to undercut it. But Kason Carswell has got a good arm and a good brain, and he does a good job there on that throw, finding the right place to go with that football.
Just a yard to go. Give Martell. Slipped as he made his cut, but he still got 2 yards for the first down. Coming up on a minute to go, so keep this in mind here. Mason has made a field goal tonight. Colin Winters made a season-long 45-yarder. So once they get to about the 28-yard line, they can truly start thinking field goal. And right now that ball is spotted at about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and Wald Lake Western's in a tough spot. You want to play aggressive and play the run, as you can't afford to give up many yards up the field, but also you can't get beat deep. So you can't play over-aggressive. You got to kind of find a nice balance here and try to get a stop for no gain.
Carswell in the pocket, stepping up, and he's into a sack. Back to the 35-yard line. Vaughn brought him down. Mason will burn their last timeout.
And that's the best situation there. You don't want him to get any yards to help the field goal, but you can't allow them to get positive yards. They get a sack, and that came at a very good time for Wald Lake Western right there.
What a remarkable football game. Division III regional final. Winner of this game gets the winner of King Rouge. And last we checked, that game was tied at 13. That game is now in overtime. So that game is crazy. This game is crazy. And if you don't love high school football, Grant, I just don't know what to tell you.
You know, don't say anything. I mean, this is great football. It's crazy to hear that game's going into overtime. This game has the potential to, depending on these last couple of plays here. But, man, you couldn't have asked for a better football game, especially one to end the season on here with the state champs crew. I mean, this has been fantastic. Really a grand finale, if you will, selfishly for us. But this is a great product on the field right now. The crowd's involved. Everyone's going nuts. I mean, this is some big implications here on these next few plays.
Mason is out of timeouts. After the sack, the ball's back to the 35-yard line. The line to gain is the 22. Snap to Carswell. Kaysen rolling left, and he throws it away. 3rd down and long.
Smart decision there, understanding that is covered. That swing pass that was there a few plays ago, that he beat the edge, and Shane Rackner. Good job of Kaysen Carswell of throwing that over the running back's head, understanding the situation. You don't want to have him catch it inbounds for a no gain at all. Then the clock's running. So good job there, heads up play. I wouldn't be surprised here if Mason tries to hit some type of out route to the sideline here by one of the number 2 receivers, that being the slot receiver to one of these sides. They're getting a cover 4 look. So if you get an opportunity to get a quick out, pick up some big yards, you can have an opportunity to try a field goal.
It would be a 52-yarder from here. Carswell rolling left again. Turns the shoulders. Throws downfield. It's incomplete. Had a man open. Branoff had the coverage. And now it's 4th down and 14.
And this is a pretty perfectly placed ball. They go with a deep curl route, trying to catch it with the toes inbounds here. It's a little bit of a roll pass left. That's a hard throw as a quarterback, but Kaysen Carswell gets his hips turned, throws a beautiful ball right to the sideline. Couldn't have asked for a better throw. And Cole Reese, who's had some big catches and some big plays today, drops one right there that really could have sealed this one. Unfortunately, they're going to have to decide and see what they're going to do here. But, man, was that a big play.
They run. Baker on the field. This is the guy who kicks off. And this is the guy who's trying to make a 52-yarder to give Mason the lead. Good snap and hold. Baker's kick is blocked. Baker's kick is blocked. They tried a 52-yarder. Wald Lake Western with 2 timeouts and 20 seconds on the clock. Now is going to have great starting field position.
Yeah, they're in an opportunity right here where they can really convert. They just got to get they got possibly 2 long plays here. If they can convert and get some passes downfield, they have an opportunity to attempt a field goal of their own. Sitting here at the 35-yard line, 34-yard line. You also don't want to have a mistake here, as you had some turnovers in your own area in the past few drives. So be smart. You got 2 timeouts to work with, but try to get downfield, man. Try to go ahead and make the destiny here on your own.
Well, they've got Lippert under center. I think Wald Lake Western's just going to take it to overtime. And with the way this second half has unfolded, we all need a breather. Mason led at the half, and then Mason and Wald Lake Western played 2 of the finer quarters of football you will ever watch. This thing was destined to go to overtime. Oh, by the way, King beat Rouge in overtime too. So now King turns their attention to this game. Are we getting another game against Mason, or are we playing Wald Lake Western? This remarkable football game continues. And now here comes the all-pivotal coin flip. On a chilly night, windy and mid-40s when we got here, and after daylight savings with the sun down, everything feels a little colder. Everyone right now is just locked into the field. Overtime rules for Michigan high school football in 2023. 1 timeout per the overtime period. Each possession will start on the 10-yard line. And they'll just keep going until they have a winner. There's been some overtime classics in Michigan high school football over the last couple of years. Last year in the Division I semis, Belleville beat Cass Tech in a remarkable game. And we got another classic here. Grant, that coaching staff for Wald Lake Western promised us that this game would not look like the first one, that Mason won 30-7. They weren't lying.
Yeah, they made good on their promise. And Coach Houghton for Mason also said this is going to be, in his opinion, probably a 1-score game. And it looks like that's going to be the case here tonight as we go to overtime. Shaping up to be a good one. Who doesn't love some free football, as they say?
Officials congregating at midfield before we get to do the toss for overtime. What a remarkable game. Jackson Lippert at quarterback for Wald Lake Western has run for a couple of touchdowns. He's thrown for 1. The great running back for Wald Lake Western, Gavin Noonan, before he was unfortunately injured in the 3rd quarter, caught a touchdown, ran for a touchdown. We're going to overtime because Wald Lake Western, their kicker, Max Kirk, made a 42-yard field goal right near the end of regulation. Longest kick he's made all year. On the other side, Reese for Mason has a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Mason's kicker, Colin Winters, 45-yard field goal in the first half, his longest of the year. And now the officials discussing things with Wald Lake Western's captains. Gary Houghton, the head coach for Mason, in his 7th season, his 20th season overall coaching high school football, has put up a great record. He's 57-17 in Mason. The last 3 years, a dream that Mason doesn't want to wake up from. 12-1 last year. School record for wins. Made the semis the last 2 years. They've lost to Detroit King in both those semis. Whoever wins this game gets King in the semis next week. All year, Mason has talked about how they want a shot at King. They want another crack at those mighty Crusaders. But they got to pull something out of their hats here as we prepare to start overtime. Lippert, Baskin, Rackner, and Vaughn, the 4 captains for Wald Lake Western. Badgley and Parrish, the captains for Mason, on the left side of your screen.
Tail, defense. You want me to go through the action, or you sure you want to go defense? You'll go on defense. Yeah, okay. Mason is the one that knows what he wants.
That cheer you hear is the Mason sideline. Mason won the toss, and as you do, they're going to go defense in overtime. The only time I have ever seen someone win the toss and take the ball first in overtime, Deion Sanders did that earlier this year. That was a little weird.
Yeah, I know what game you're talking about there. It caught me off guard as well. Was that Stanford, I think they were playing?
I can't remember. Yeah. All their games end at like 1 in the morning. I shouldn't be up that late, you know?
I agree with you. Pac-12 after dark is a scary thing.
Well, unfortunately not anymore. It's soon to be Big Ten after dark.
Right.
What a brave world we live in now. All right, here we go. Mason will play defense first, trying to continue their remarkable season. 11-0, haven't lost yet. Wald Lake Western at 10-1, trying to continue their remarkable season, trying to avenge their loss to Mason back in the middle of October, and trying to get to the semis for the first time since 2019. Ball starts at the 10-yard line in overtime in high school football. They'll break the huddle with Lippert. The senior quarterback under center with 3 backs behind him. Lippert gives. Triplett runs. And he's wrapped up after a gain of a couple of yards.
Good tackle there by the defensive end. Sam Corey, 81, getting his nose on the football. Ethan Baskin in at fullback. That's a new sight to see. He plays linebacker. He plays some O-line as well. They need some people blocking here as Gavin Noonan has gone down. They got to get some new faces in that backfield. And they got to get every yard that matters here. I mean, they're sitting here with a 2nd down and goal to go here. And this is do or die football, man. This is overtime football here in this regional final, man. This is as big as it gets. This is exciting stuff right now.
2nd down and goal. Price with Lippert in the gun. Lippert quick drop. Jackson throwing. And it's caught. Runner is shy of the goal line. Ryan Boyce, his 2nd catch of the night. And here comes 3rd down and goal.
And good job by Ryan Boyce, not retracing his steps, trying to get outside the defenders. He just caught the ball, turned upfield, and got as much as he could. Putting this ball here on about the 2.1 yard line. They're sitting in a good position here. They play power football. They got 2 downs to pick this up. I got to imagine that if they are presented with a 4th down, they're going to go ahead and go for it.
Another power backfield look. 3 men behind Lippert, who's under center. Triplett the deepest back. That's who they give it to. And he is suffocated. Tackled at the 5. Badgley and Parrish combo on the tackle.
And they were ready for that one. They were sitting on their toes. Badgley and Parrish were both there, mugged in the A-gap, ready to go. And they saw the opportunity. They took it, jumped right in on that one, and pushed that ball back there to the 5-yard line. And that was a great tackle for loss, forcing a field goal here out of the Wald Lake Western Warriors.
You said it. They had the ball on the 2, probably thinking they were going to go for it on 4th down unless you lose yardage. So Kirk's on the field, already made a 42-yarder. This one about 23 yards. Good snap and hold, and once again, Kirk's kick is good. So now Mason knows what it needs. Field goal will tie it. Touchdown will send them to play king in the semis for the 3rd straight season.
Most important 10 yards of their season coming down to the wire right now. And that's why you go defense first, right? Just like you said, you know what you need. A field goal ties it, push you to double OT. And if you cross that goal line, you're moving on. Facing that team that you haven't quite conquered yet in Martin Luther King. And if you're Wald Lake Western, you got to fight for every inch here. Sitting up 3 right now, you got to fight, scratch, and claw, holding this team back from getting in the end zone.
All that time you spent in the weight room, all that time in training camp, all those extra hours before and after practice, all of that comes down to this. 10 yards for glory. Carswell back on the field. The junior quarterback starts under center. Martell motions. That's who they pitch it to. AJ running left. One of the best football players in Mason High School history is out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
That's a good play there. They're just it's Canadian football, but it's sideways. You get your player in a head start going lateral, which gives you an opportunity to out leverage the defense. And AJ Martell, a player of his caliber, you give him a little bit of space and he'll get you a bunch of yards there. And you're playing in a tight window here. It's just hard to pick up yards here inside the 10, but he does a fantastic job on first down of getting a hard 5 yards, giving you 3 downs to work with here to try and go win this football game.
2nd down and goal. Carswell looking. End zone shot! Yes! Caleb Parrish and the Mason Dream season is alive!
What a play call. I mean, you're just going to go back to your reliable steed here in Caleb Parrish. You're going to run an out route. It's mano-a-mano here. If you beat him to the pylon and the ball is on time, it is a great play, and it's a great location. Puts on the outside shoulder, a diving catch. Keep in mind, he's got one hand. He's got a club. Goes through, makes the catch, and sends this team to the semifinals. What a play call. What a game. And it comes down to 5 yards in a cloud of dust, and Mason comes out on top. What a play call. What a conversion.
Caleb Parrish has caught 12 touchdowns this season. Not a single one's been bigger. That man has a cast on his left arm, and he just made a diving catch in the corner of the end zone to continue the greatest football season in the history of Mason High School. And they get a shot at revenge at Detroit King next week in the semis that they've been dreaming of since the second they lost to them in the semis last season.
I mean, you couldn't have asked the script writers to write a better script. Like you said, those few plays in overtime right there are built on the back of the offseason, the hard labor that you do. You're moving the weights in the summer. You're sweating your tail off. You're wondering, hey, why are we doing these extra sprints? Why are we lifting these extra weights? Well, this Mason team needed no extra motivation. They knew why. They've been in this situation before. They've lost to Martin Luther King here twice in the semifinals. And they're trying to rewrite this chapter in their history here. They've had a great resume under Coach Gary Houghton, and they're looking for an opportunity to change the script here next week in them semifinals.
What an utterly remarkable football game. One of those games where you wish somehow both could win. Wald Lake Western this season lost twice. They were both to that Mason football team. And there is no shame to losing to that Mason football team any day of the week. They were tested tonight. Closest game they had played all season. Before today, the closest game they had played all season is when they beat DeWitt by 19 points in the second week of the season. Tonight, that team was tested. They were down by 11 points. Then they were down by 12 points in the third quarter. They threw a pick 6 with about 4 seconds to go in the third quarter to go down by 12. But then on the very next play, Cole Reese has a 97-yard kick return for a touchdown. Then all of a sudden, Mason scores early in the fourth to take the lead. Wald Lake Western battled back. But Mason at the end of this thing had just enough in one of those football games, to quote our friend Joel Clapp, that makes you fall in love with football all over again.
I mean, just a fairy tale type of game. I mean, the back and forth, like you said. And like you said, this was Mason's toughest test, and it's hard to beat a team twice, especially come playoff time. There's so much on the line. There's so much motivation from both sides. Having faced a team that you beat, that team comes in with an edge. Hey, we gotta get this chip off our shoulder. We gotta beat this team. And Mason holds them out, down 12, like you said, threw a pick 6. It was looking very bleak for a moment. But Mason, man, they have been tested. They got a lot of guys that are senior leaders on this team that fight. And this win right here, this is going to propel them and give them a really good opportunity to go in there and give a good game to Martin Luther King. Battle-tested team here. Going through overtime, facing a team that runs the ball really well, has a good offensive line. This Mason team is battle-tested. And this game here tonight, if they go on to go to the Ford Field to do it all, they're going to look back on the night and say, you know what, that night, it really was started there. That was the night where we were tested and we responded.
It looks like Mason brought the entire town here. They are congregated on the field in the right corner. There's still a bunch of folks in the bleachers, but Mason wants to celebrate with their football team. And we were talking about this earlier tonight. The wins and losses mean a lot, but the memories you're making, the bond you're forging with your hometown and your brothers on that team means everything. Someday, like all of us, these guys are going to be old and fat and gray. But when they're old and fat and gray, they'll look at each other and they'll call each other. And I don't know, how will we be communicated in 50 years? I have no idea. However we're going to do it, they're going to reach out to each other and go, remember that playoff game we played at Wald Lake Western where we were down like 12 points both times in the fourth quarter and we came back and won? These guys will remember this night for forever.
Forever. And I'll remember it forever, having just been up here talking about it. I can't imagine being on the field playing in this moment. This is just was such a big game, the regional finals. You got to win to go to the semis. You're that close to Ford Field. You can smell the turkey legs come Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving weekend. And all you want to do is be at Ford Field. And it took a lot to overcome today. They were put in situations where they have never been, and they really fought. They're a battle-tested team. And like you said, this is something that both of these teams, win or loss, you'll remember forever. It's forged into brotherhood. And you'll look back and be happy that you fought alongside those guys that fought so hard on both sides of this contest tonight.
Wald Lake Western, first time they were playing in a regional final since 2019. Mason's going back to the semis to play Detroit King for the third straight season. Would you believe that tonight King beats Rouge 27-26 in overtime, and then here at Wald Lake Western High School, Mason beats Wald Lake Western 44-41 in overtime. Those boys will tell you, job's not done. But tonight, job better done by the boys in white and blue and red. Caleb Parrish caught the winner, left corner of the end zone in overtime. Cast on his hand and all. He gets the job done. Kaysen Carswell, the quarterback, threw for a couple, caught a touchdown tonight, bounced back from throwing that pick 6 late in the third quarter. Those guys are taking a picture with a trophy. I hope the next couple of weeks they take more pictures with more trophies. In case you're wondering why they're holding up 3 fingers, it's because they've won 3 straight regional championships. That picture is going on Instagram in about 45 minutes.
Absolutely.
You know, what happens when you win 3 regional titles in a row? Are you getting less likes because this is normal,
I think that might be the case, and also the expectation to take that next step grows only bigger. They've been here, they've been in this situation where they've been that close to getting to Ford Field, and you got to say it feels like this might be the year that they do it. They're a team that came through, battle tested today, has just dominated every other opponent they've played, and they're gonna have a tough opponent in King, but I guarantee you they're holding up those 3s, but they want to hold up those 1s here in 2 more games. So. Definitely the goal in mind is that Ford Field, and this regional, they're probably a little bit numb to it, by now. That's become the norm and the tradition here at Mason.
They'll start thinking about King tomorrow. But for tonight, they celebrate winning one of the finer high school football games you will watch. Parrish caught the winner. Carswell threw the winner. And the entire town of Mason, Michigan celebrates tonight. We're not quite to Caleb Parrish just caught a touchdown that means he never has to buy another meal in Mason yet. But it was a pretty important catch.
It was. And he had a drop earlier in the game that kind of set him back, but he came through and kept catching big first downs, and he caught the most important one to end it all.
Caleb Parrish caught his 12th touchdown of the night, the biggest one he's maybe ever caught in his life. He's standing by on the field with Elizabeth Kuhn.
Hey, able to get the job done here tonight. I mean, you're just all smiles. Walk me through that moment.
No, I started off slow, and then I think we scored, and then some dude on their sideline was just like, he just kept talking, saying it's going to be your last game. That just made me click it, and then after that, I just turned up. So
yeah, absolutely. And what makes this group so special?
The seniors, we've known each other forever. We always hang out, including the juniors. Ever since my sophomore year, the juniors too, who were on varsity as a freshman, we all just came together as one and just always hang out.
Yeah, and how special is it to celebrate with the community out here?
Oh yeah, no, it's big. We've been through a lot this year, so this win means everything. So.
Well, go celebrate. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys.
You can imagine why Caleb Parrish is breathing heavy over there. That man is going through it. God bless him. What a football game. That does it for us tonight, and that does it for our coverage of 11-man football throughout the state of Michigan for State Champs Game Time Live throughout this regular season into the playoffs. Whether you were with us on that really sweaty and hot first game of the year between Saline and Brighton, and if you've been with us until the bitter end, whether you've been watching on YouTube, MHSA.TV, the CBS Detroit app, or of course on the great voice of the Great Lakes 760 WJR. Thanks for making us a part of it. I'd shout out members of the crew, but then I'd miss someone, and everyone would get frustrated. So I'll just shout out the on-air crew for Liz Kuhn, Carol Lyles, Lexi Ayala down on the sidelines, and for my partner in crime, Grant Perry. Evan Stockton says thanks for being with us all throughout the early summer, late summer, into the fall. Now, you're not getting rid of Grant and I. We're going to do a couple of the state finals in a couple of weeks. But for Game Time Live this year, we say thanks for watching, and hopefully we brought you the excitement and the fun of high school football as best we could. What a way to end it. Mason wins this one in overtime, 44-41, and they are off to play Detroit King in the semis again next week. Thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you soon.
State Champs Game Time Live is delivered by Hungry Howie's Pizza, celebrating 50 years of flavor. State Champs Game Time Live is also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic. The future of education begins at ltu.edu. Alta Equipment, Michigan's #1 construction equipment provider, proudly representing the industry's top brands. Get the right equipment for your project every time with Alta Equipment. The Construction Association of Michigan, the voice of the construction industry in Michigan. U.S. Navy, transform your life and become part of something bigger. Learn more about naval careers at Navy.com. And the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.